Cool. Right. So, today marks the final day of your journey as a group all the way from the town where you came from, finally arriving at the capital city of Rexentrum, here in the far north reaches of the Empire. You have come for Rexentrum's Candlekeep to seek aid for your stricken hometown. Your hometown has withered this year. Crops have failed, the livestock stands in the fields like stick figures, and the rain has dwindled. Eluando, a local mage sent by Rexentrum's academy, determined that a curse had been levied on the land and recommended that the town seek aid from a sage named Matreus. After some time, Eluando found that Matreus was studying in the great library of Rexentrum's Candlekeep and sent you to find him. As you near your final destination, you get another glimpse at your fellow party mates, their looks, their gear, as well as a glimpse into their personality. So, who is our first seeker? Why are you here, and what are you hoping to learn from Candlekeep?
I'll go first. I'm going to get my things together.
Sure.
So, I'm playing Isla. She is a war cleric. She, just like her, how her photo is, she has her, adorned battle gear. She stands at about 5'7". Kind of like a darker blondish hair or so. She does have some muscle tone. She is pretty strong for her size and everything. Has a little bit of keeps her nose up. There's a sense of nobility behind her. Will always try to be polite and everything, but do her wrong, and she'll crush you. She has blue eyes. Like I said, 5'7", fair skin. Hair length is down to about her shoulders or so, and she actually does have the battle nun cap that she's wearing.
Well,
next to her, it's Arix. It's a small kobold in scraps of scale armor. He has a wooden barrel as a shield. It has the symbol of a seashell with a wave in it. He's a cleric, a Tempest cleric, follower of Eandro. It's the god of the Lockcat and the Merfolk. He's a shipwright, and he's trying to see what's great demi-planes or other material planes in the sea that has assaulted the crew in the past. Any questions? And he, as I say, he's a small kobold. He's white, red eyes. And, he sings a lot, and that's our the prayers to Eadmer.
I hope you have a ton of sea shanties ready to sing.
You know me, man. You know me.
As he always has, every session, sea shanties, non-stop. That's our item. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent.
Sea shanties.
Okay. Let's do, since you've arrived, at the postman narration chat. It's okay. You can go ahead and introduce your character if you want, as we're traveling as a group toward our final station.
Yeah, so Elion is somewhat reserved when walking with the group. Would have found that the travel would have been traveling on foot, not actually ever riding in carriage or horse. Would have been walking alongside. But pale skin, white hair, almost glowing eyes. and has clothes that are well made, but not anything fancy. Simple robe. And walks with a stick.
Fair enough. And last, but certainly not least, we have Ella. And you want to introduce your character?
So Ella is a fairy, and she gets around by flying. She's got pale skin, red hair, super cheeky personality, so always trying to trick everybody. Yeah, that's Ella.
Fair enough. Alright. As you approach your final destination, you get a glimpse of it. You are over yonder, to the south. But you may zoom out to witness the full spectrum of all of it. Before you, visible for miles throughout, looms the fortified city of Rexentrum. Its walls interspersed with towers that shield it from the cold wildlands of the Zemni fields. And from its parapets wave the crimson and gold flags of the Empire. These walls enclose a large space from which more towers rise. From this far, it all looks like a cake decorated with an overabundance of candles, giving it its namesake. At the city's center rises a castle that has endured the elements for centuries and defied the degradation of time. Oops. This happened to me before, didn't it? I was just showing people the frames.
Yep.
There it is.
Nice.
At the city's front is a set of double gates that stands before the lonely road's end, providing access to and from the outside world. Herein lies the promise to your salvation, Candlekeep, one of the greatest, most well-protected institutes of knowledge in all of Wildmount. Within its hallowed halls lie countless books of lore, scrolls of prophecy, and a collection of written work by the greatest sages of this age. The Academy, you would know, hosts a cloistered community of scholars milling around beyond the gates. This is a place of enlightenment, conversation, and friendly debate. No place in the Empire exists for those who have a love for or a need of knowledge, and those who want to pursue such interests along fellow seekers. No better place exists but this. Of course, not all knowledge preserved in this academy is of historical importance. The academy's libraries hold thousands upon thousands of lost recipes, old songs, collections of folklore, and journals written by folk whose time has long since passed. The abundance of these artillery works makes finding notable tomes an exercise in patience and perseverance. Fortunately, a legion of scholars and sages called the Avowed of the Cerberus Assembly look after the library and remain vigilant in the care and cataloging of all the knowledge it holds therein. You, steadily, make your way past the city gates, where the righteous brand soldiers serving as the Crown's guard briefly inspect your gear. They inquire about the nature of your visit and direct you toward the academy. So far, so good. Any questions?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
Who was the keeper of like the books and everything? You said it was the Vow.
Avowed of the Cerberus Assembly.
Oh, the Avowed. Okay.
Yes.
Ava.
Yes.
Oh, Cerberus. Never mind.
Yeah, the those who took a vow.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Fair enough. So you see the great Soltrice Academy is a magnificent structure, in itself a great fortress castle surrounded by additional buildings and bristling spires capped with these polished peaks, giving the towers their famous burning candle look. The entrance to the Academy building are enormous double gates, 3 times the height of a human, and wrought of this black metal that looks magically warded to foil attempts to damage them. Both doors are emblazoned with the sigil of the Academy. I have handouts for this, just to give you guys a visual representation of what I'm talking about. There we are. The sigil of the Academy. The symbol consists of 3 diamond-like shapes, pointed inwards toward themselves, representing the 3 heads of the Cerberus Assembly, and underneath, 8 spires that curl up around it, representing the 8 candles. The 8 towers that encircle the hold where the sovereign ruler of the Empire, Queen Dwendal, sits. One of the 2 gates before you stands open, far enough to admit visitors during this time of day. The other door is kept shut. You see, standing in front of these gates, examining and discussing written works presented by hopefuls trying to gain entrance, are these figures. You see a young scholar woman wishing to enter. She presents a selection of possible donations, which the avowed take a moment to consider. They peruse the various rare editions of tomes and journals of unique insight, and then grant her admission before turning their gaze toward the lot of you.
Oh, we need a gift.
They are robed figures bedecked in purple-gray vestments. Their clothes bear the same sigil as the gates. Among these avowed is a tall, gaunt-faced, pale-skinned, blonde-haired elven man with brilliant blue eyes, and he approaches, his hand held before him, hidden in his sleeves. And he speaks, addressing the lot of you. Welcome, seekers. I am Master Sage Sinduro Yashanti. You must be new to this Ultras Academy. Have you come to request the assistance of an adjutant? There are many among us eager to guide and assist your research for the duration of your visit. However, before you are granted access to the library's resources, we kindly ask for a donation on behalf of your group. What do you have to offer to us in return for your services?
Does anyone have anything with a least bit of value?
I do, but I'm just trying to find the name. I
so don't.
What was it? Oh wait, there's his name.
No.
Sindor. I'll try to attempt to I'll talk to Master Sindor and say greetings, Master Sindor. I am Isla of the House Veridana. If it is to the Cerberus Assembly's pleasing, I would offer a sealed note with one good favor that the house could give to you. Whatever that favor may be, you could. An IOU is what I'm asking.
I see. This is highly unusual. Most of the avowed would accept a book, a scroll of knowledge, not contained within the library, or anything of that kind. This favor, would it land us access to the libraries of your order? Any?
Good question. It would simply be a favor if you were in need of something like books or scrolls. The Noble House could offer its assistance with that. However, the Academy might see fit.
I will take this as a promise for a work of writing not already collected within the library.
If you would like my seal, if you have any paper, or I could write a letter and then seal it with my signet ring.
That'll be good. You must
You
know
happen to
that
have
we
pen and paper?
may take. Of course, this is a library. We have paper, and he snaps his fingers toward one of the other adjutants nearby, and he runs off. You see he is stout, short, about 3 feet tall, hooded, wearing a less decorative form of the robes, not so much high-ranked, perhaps some novel student who just began his training.
Mm-hmm.
He sends him to fetch some papers. I understand that I take your word at face value. Should this turn to be a false gift, you and your own group will never be allowed into the library ever again.
Well, heavens no. The House Veridana is always true to its word, and we serve the Empire, and along with that, its people.
As a sort of guard against such collateral damage, have any of you to offer to us something more substantial? A written work. Yes, not collected within our library halls. Songs, recipes, any knowledge will do. It's only the fair price we ask of everyone.
I've got a bunch of flowers using Druidcraft.
Shenty takes the flowers, inspects them. I do believe I've had those catalogued since the inception of the discovery. Are these special in some way from your homeland? A unique species? A new experiment?
They're a new species.
Are they now?
Never seen before.
And have you any documentation or papers to prove such a thing? Any research papers on you to accompany this sample as we catalog it?
I have a research paper, yes. All about the flowers.
I would have it. I'm assuming that Ella has this piece of paper, forged or otherwise,
Yes.
that she totally made on the road here in preparation for this. Go ahead and rule me your first rule of this session, a forgery kit rule, which will use your intelligence as a modifier. If you're not sure, Ivan can show you how to do that on your sheet in roll 20. And it will be contested by the insight of Master Sage Cinder Yashenti, who has spent his entire life cataloging these sort of documents. So everything is to chance.
I think she got an 8.
Cool. This doesn't seem to have the right sigils and signatures of fellow researchers who would approve. Has this been at all peer reviewed? At all? Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Fair enough. Then I shall have this catalogued as well. As he finishes investigating the piece of parchment you have handed him, which is totally genuine, you see another individual return. The adjutant from before, the Saltress Academy neophyte, returns with his hood down this time, bearing a stack of papers. He is a gnome, has a graying beard and a finely trimmed mustache. Very well kept, these bushy eyebrows. And the elf turns to him like, yes. Well, Master Bertrand has seemed to have returned with your stack of papers required. And you see him hand those over to you. Isla. Here you go. Sorry I took so long.
Oh, well, thank you so much, kind sir.
Yeah. Be sure to leave me a 5-star review.
Oh, well, heavens, I surely will.
Thank you.
I heard you have a really cool pet.
Oh, would you like to see it?
Yeah, totally.
Sure. Out of the air, he conjures forth a creature from hell itself. And, would you like to describe it, since you know perfectly well what I'm conjuring here?
Yeah, it's a Furby.
It's a multicolored, multi-feathered, multi-patterned, tiny little owlet with 2 large, unblinking eyes that stare directly into your soul that seems to have become so famous as to reach your ears. There he is in all his glory, my precious little child.
He's here.
If I whispered to Elenion, is it me or that thing? It's fading from my dreams.
Well, I don't recognize it from my dreams.
You can pet it. It don't bite.
My dreams are of starry fields, infinite space. I suppose if we must offer research and papers that are unknown, I have little to offer, but I do have my own notes of both stars and the limited knowledge I have of the astral sea.
The astral sea and the astral skies are all novel fields of research, only now being discovered. We would eagerly take any notes you have. Any journals will suffice. Certainly more substantial than flowers.
They are but my own writings, my own experiences with it. I can blink and see it just barely, seconds each day. That's part of why I'm here, is I hope to find out more how to stay.
Well, if you could leave those with Master Bertrand before you're leaving, that would be an acceptable price for entry. Accepting your donations, Master Sage Sindor gestures to the Avowed and hands him your stuff. The latter takes the what you handed him, the flower, the totally genuine documents therein, and all accompanied, and begins to walk inside to bring it in and get it catalogued. Then Cinder says, "You are hereby granted entry to the Academy. For the duration of your stay, you may dwell in the House of Rest, visit the prayer temples, go to the bookbinders, visit the outfitters, and rent rooms in the Candle Pillars of Pedagogy, a quiet space of study. Remember that your visit here is a privilege, and as such, all who step foot in the Academy must adhere to its decorum, which must be respected at all times lest you ire the garden wardens. We'll bring you under control in short order, by force if necessary. Do not mistake Candlekeep for a mere library. This is a fortified and warded structure with numerous magical defenses to protect all held within. In order to ensure the safety of both the books contained and the scholars who study here, save for exceptions made by the higher-ups, flames larger than a candle are restricted. Spell work used to incinerate is thus suppressed on library grounds. In addition, every book, scroll, and other work is considered part of the Assembly's collection. It is magically protected against theft. Any such work that is removed from the keep shall promptly disappear and immediately return to its proper place in the library. There are many other words and words that I will not bother you with. To keep it short, I shan't bore you with their detail. Simply follow our order of accordance, and all shall be well. The elf goes on to detail rules set forth by the senior staff to prevent misconduct. Violating one or more of these rules results in banishment from the academy grounds, and the banished are seldom to return. But the rules are simple. No fighting, no stealing. No copying full manuscripts without paying the scribes of the House of the Binder to make your own copy of the book. No damaging, marking, or otherwise modifying the library's works unless you have a privately owned book copied by the miners. He goes on. This is kind of a little lecture. He goes on for a good 10 minutes. But once the Elven Master Sage is done explaining these rules, he gestures for the avowed to part way and make room for you to proceed past the gates and onto the academy grounds. Have you any questions so far? It's a lot of information to absorb introduction-wise, but I hope I kept it simple enough.
No, I understand. Be on our best behavior.
Okay.
Don't worry. If someone breaks something, I'll patch it up.
He nods toward the little kobold and says, "In order to ensure compliance, but more importantly, in order to assist you on your research, I hereby assign my assistant to act as your guide and adjutant, Mr. McGilligality, if you please." The elf gestures for the short man to approach to your side. He's a very short man, specifically the 30-foot tall gnome. I already kind of described him. You can see he has the lengthy beard that goes down his robes, that he strokes as he joins your side, petting the owl the while. And as he joins your side, he almost stumbles over his own feet, struggling to keep this heavy spellbook under his own arm that is about his size. Right. Mastering some confidence, the gnome introduces himself in a high-pitched voice again, and has you follow me, if you please.
Would you like some help carrying that book?
Yeah, just be very careful of it. It's the only copy I have, and I've been working really hard to keep it ordered and indexed, and just be careful with it. I don't really have the coin yet to make it enduring against rain and stuff and fire.
I would protect it with all my life.
Yeah, maybe one day, he says, looking toward the horizon. I'll go out there, adventuring, earning my own fair share of gold.
I'm sure you will.
And nothing will go wrong. And everything will be wonderful. Fair enough. Bertram McGilligality has knowledge of the various locations throughout Candlekeep, as well as the structures of the Service Assembly Avowed. If you have any questions toward him, you can ask now or later as they come up. Even as a neophyte, he knows knowledge of basics, which might come useful. He explains that he freshly joined the Service Assembly, yet to prove himself, and that has been assigned to sort of shadow various sages and archmages throughout the assembly to learn all fields of magic and see which one kind of speaks to his heart. And he says that once this sort of period of immerse himself to the library is complete, you being part of a process as him learn to be a sort of a guide as well, he is to depart on an expedition to the distant land of Jorhas in 10 days' time. But in the meantime, here's your guide. Where do you wish to go? What do you wish to do?
I would turn to the party and say, well, if anyone is pressed on time, we are looking for the... Hold on, it's on my other page.
Matrius?
For Matrius, or if there's anything that we would like to poke our nose into, it wouldn't hurt since we have the time here now.
Well, I am I'm most interested in anything dealing with the sea, the astral sea. I need to be there. More knowledge
the
than
sea?
important. The astral sea. It's a sea of infinite stars.
Perhaps you can spend some time seeking out the guidance of one Kazrin. He is one of the master sages here, primarily expertised in the natural world and celestial navigation.
That might be a very enjoyable conversation. I spent much of my youth searching the stars themselves, as they seemed closest to what I could see of the astral realm, not knowing what it was at first. But I think our most important thing is we were asked to find Matrius. There was some hope that he could have information on a curse that affected our town. I don't suppose you would know where to find him.
I do. He has his own private study. Just follow me. Matrius is one of the master sages that he's an expert in the application and removal of curses. He's just a guy. He arrived here at Candlekeep a few weeks ago to further his research. He has been assigned a private study room. I can lead you there if you'd like. For sure. But yeah, about that stuff about the Astral Sea, it's still sort of new. But we have many readers, keepers of tomes and such, appointed to key roles to study such things, and one such great reader will be the man I mentioned before, who you can see at a later time, perhaps.
Yes,
All right.
Yes, I shall seek him out at some point before I leave.
Fair enough. It takes Master Bertrand Is there a reason why you were rolling an intelligence check? Are you trying to do something, or?
I was trying to see if I was gonna say that I didn't understand what was Astral Sea, but I understand. I leave it to luck on that.
Ivan, do you know what space is?
Yes.
How
but
dumb
my
would you say,
kobold
Ivan,
friend-
you'd have to be to not know what space is?
Hey, he's
It's-
from the
it's-
sea.
Well,
I
I do kind of talk about it as though it's more than just space.
Sure. To give you a floor to jump off of, even a kobold would know the bare minimum. But you're free to your own opinion of it, of course. That being said, it takes Master McGillicuddy a few tries to guide you to Matrice's private study, but eventually, after about, I don't know, like an hour of walking about, he finds his way. You enter...
Actually,
Yeah, so...
on our way there, just being a little inquisitive, he said that Matrius came in a couple weeks ago, right?
Correct.
Bertrand, did the Matrius, does he have any affiliations to the Service Assembly beforehand, or is he was he known within these halls before?
Very
coming
much
here?
so. He's one of the Avowed. He explains that, essentially, there's roughly 300 Avowed that live here in the Solstice Academy. The majority of them are like low-level assistant, newcomers to the Order, scribes who handle everyday work in the Keep, like Bertrand. There are a few high-ranking members of the Avowed, however, including those called the Keepers of the Tome. They're one of the high members of the Avowed that govern Candlekeep. Also, those who select scholars to fill vacant leadership positions throughout. And among them is the Keeper of the Tomes. His word is law. Each keeper edicts and each keeper's edict are recorded for the edification of future keepers. But there's a lot of lore to this. Essentially,
yeah.
Matrius is down the hierarchy. He's a great reader. A great reader is part of the Council of Candlekeep, a senior Avowed who oversees day-to-day operations. So yes, he's very much affiliated with the Service Assembly. He's a erudite scholar and gifted spellcaster who has chosen was chosen from like previous ranks of master readers and sort of ascended up to the order. Each of these master sages has their own field of study. His is the application and removal of curses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just some guy who like wandered in and he's just like, hey, can I use your study and crash here for a couple weeks?
Everybody is a guy who's like everybody who walks into Candlekeep is some guy who wants to study and then prove themselves and
Makes
stays
sense.
and eventually becomes, from master reader up those stages.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But he's been here. He's been associated, and yeah. Anything else that you're wondering?
One minor one. How long are we actually allowed to stay here with our gifts? Is it a finite time, or as long as
until you leave?
Okay.
Every time you enter, you bring something in with you. If you must travel, you will leave and come back with something new to bring. But your stay is really not limited. That's why there's sort of like a quarters here, and there's places to find food and rest. Mid library. It's like a university campus.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Right. So, unless you take any other detours, following Bertrand's lead, he will lead you here to this spacious chamber where you see rows of chairs and tables are set in front of lecture podium. The walls are domed with bookshelves, glass windows, allowing you to get a look at the academy courtyard outside. But the chamber is unoccupied, save for various research notes and books left open by those who took some time to study here. You don't see Atreus. And Bertrand just kind of scratches his beard and just goes, That's weird. He was just here. Like, not even an hour ago.
Well, perhaps the master stepped out for a few to collect himself.
Well, but okay, maybe. You can always wait for him here till he comes back.
Yeah, I see no reason not to.
Right. I can stay, or I can go. I really serve as your guide for as long as you need me, within reason. Obviously, I too need some sleep, but we have all day, so if there's anything else I can do, anything at all, for that 5-star review, I'll do it.
Well, I suppose if you could, I think we'll probably stay here for at least a little bit, waiting for the reader's return. But if you could direct us to where the lodgings are, that would be most appreciated.
Well, we don't even need to walk back and forth the whole time. I can just point to it, and he looks out the window, and he points toward like one of the buildings. Like, once you wish to finish your studies and stuff and settle in, you can go over there to the House of Rest, right by the eatery, and get yourself a room and a bed, and room, board, breakfast. It's all provided.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was all I was hoping for. No need for you to walk us there.
Yeah, it's quite a walk away, but yeah, the House of Rest, you can see it is a how do I describe it? It's like a 3-story bunkhouse outside in court that provides seekers with a place to store their gear and stuff and rest. It's quite rustic, but the accommodations, as Bertrand describes them, include both like private rooms and common rooms, should you want to group up. It's a comforting lodging. It offers guests peace and quiet. Noisy patrons are directed to the hearth if they want to continue their revelry. The hearth being the building right beside it, which if points to it, and you can see it appears to be like a modest tavern-like building of sturdy construction with these like warm lights emanating from a pair of like small windows on either side of the front door. That's where the more crowdy route kind of stays. Yeah.
I was gonna say. Actually, what was I gonna say? Well, if Matrius did step out for a little bit, I mean, I guess we can try to help ourselves out now and Maybe he has a couple books laying around that we could try reading up on, or...
Sure.
does
Peruse
he-
around. Candlekeep's things are your things to browse. Knowledge should be shared by all. That's what I believe.
That's very wise of you to say.
Except for the things in the dungeon. Never enter the dungeon.
Never.
Dungeon?
Yeah.
Where's the dungeon?
There is no dungeon. You didn't hear that from me. Forget about it.
There's a Baylor down there.
Yeah. You just like open the front door.
Yeah.
Forgotten like Cthulhian knowledge.
So, knowing that we're in a place of like great knowledge, lots of wizards, scrolls, all that stuff is a heaven for them. Is there a familiar anywhere around, or any kind of animal poking around?
There's one on my shoulder.
Not that one.
Walking around this Solstice Academy, it seems that there is a conjuration branch to this academy, from where students, you saw them with all sorts of like pseudo dragons around their necks, little like slithering things with winding tails, or even those who contact Feywilds and have like little fairies floating around their heads, acting as companions. It's very common sight walking the court.
Would there be one? Is this like a Matrius's, like this is his domain right here in this room, like where he would stay?
This is the
like, would he
study
have
room
his
where
familiar?
he
Okay.
taught whenever he needed to teach, and during off hours he just uses it as a quiet study.
Okay.
Closed doors, not locked, but just somewhere peaceful, away from the hearth and the private quarters where he can just do things in private. And Bertrand kind of explains that whenever he stayed here, he was at the northern end of this building, by his desk, just immersed in his research notes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, you were asking about familiars, and I was trying to like connect the dots.
No, sorry. Like if Matrius left his familiar like at his podium or something.
Matrius did not have a familiar.
Okay, just curious.
Yes. Matrius was more dealing with curses and application and removal of them, not so much with conjuration or like contacting off other planes, dealing with that. He just didn't have a familiar. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see Elenian sit down, write some notes. The chairs are padded, quite comfortable. They take great care in providing comfort and a silent, peaceful place where one can meditate and study. And really, no distractions, no nothing. As you seal the door, you can hear all noises from outside the hallway just go mute. Bertrand shuffles around 3 feet, like just picks up a few books, orders them on the shelves, sees around available if you need them. But what do you guys do as you just walk around? Anything from a new player, perhaps? Hello?
I'll let someone else speak.
You can speak to, man.
Yeah, like
If they're taking time to like think about things, maybe they can bounce off something like you say, The world's your oyster.
Honestly, I would probably just walk all the way to the end, take a glance at the podium, see if there was anything what he maybe was last reading or lecturing, and then see if he has anything that might be pertaining to the curse of the area.
Sure.
Excuse me, any keywords.
You walk across this like blue carpet featuring the lunar cycle and other astral bodies therein. The podium stands upon a wooden platform that rises in front of a desk, with all sorts of magical gadgets on the walls and reagents. The podium itself has a book open upon it. It is a... it looks to be a journal of some kind. It lies. Several pages of notes are open to diagrams and such, and journal entries, all sort of right beside this heavy-looking tome, right beside it. So yeah, there's the journal and there's the tome. Which one do you investigate first?
Do the journal.
Okay. Most of the journal's contents are filled with research notes on the nature of minor hexes. This research was conducted over the past few weeks, apparently during Matrace's stay here in Candlekeep. They're all pages. Every single one of them is just signed with his name at the very bottom. He seems to have taken some measure of pride and possession over his research. The book is open to the latest entry, dated less than a few hours ago. It reads, I seem to have found a peculiar anomaly in this very study room. Faint traces of conjuration magic linger dormant upon one of the walls here. I sense this arcane footprint hints at a spell cast within the room that maintained itself for a very, very long time. Since I first encountered this anomaly days ago, the signature has remained stable, as if waiting for some trigger. At first, I feared it was a sigil of warding or a prank left here by previous occupants, but as I continued to study it, I soon realized this is no mere cantrip or simple spell. I can't peacefully keep on with my research until I find out what this anomaly is. Perhaps the Avowed can help. You're sort of working through the entries throughout a week as you're reading it up to this day. The next kind of entry reads, I inquired as to who might have created such a gateway. My fellow Avowed claimed a wizard by the name of Fistandia was the study room's most frequent occupant. They spoke of mysterious reports that she rarely left the room for weeks at a time. Rumors said that she was not even seen eating or sleeping during her visits and would go missing for hours at a time. This was all confirmed by my suspicions regarding the anomaly. It is, indeed, a waygate. She must have gone through the gateway during those absences. But how? And that's where the journal entries end.
I would relay that to the party, just kind of reading aloud. Well, if there was anything in this room, it's best to be on our guard. Something with conjuration magic, something I'm not too familiar with. Unless anybody else has a sense or anything that they could possibly find to see where that source is.
Annie. Oh, Annie's muted because they're in the same room. Okay. Any ideas?
I would like to look for runes or ghouls.
Okay. Fleeting around on your dexterous wings, you buzz around like a bee, looking for runes and such. Where? Like along the floors, the walls, in the books, the rain? Where are you looking?
In the books.
In the books of the rain? Okay. You find many of them are that of students who sat here and listened to lectures. There are runes and abjuration circles and such drawn as a part of spells to protect against hexes or fiendish beings or hags from the Feywilds and such. It seems that many of the lectures were revolving on both the application and protection against these hexes. But throughout the desks, none of the students seem to have been in on the findings contained in the professor's journal. Professor Matrace was very private in his study and has pursued this on his own, it seems. If you were to look over the shoulder, you would see that held in Isla's hands is the journal, and then there's another thick tome lying closed on the same podium. it bears a few runes and markings along its spine.
Can I check it a little bit more closely?
Sure. It looks like this, and you can even click on the image to zoom in into it. The tome's cover is made of this ornately tooled leather, decorated with gold filigree, with this gold filigree runic sigil upon the spine. Of particular interest as well is the illustration on the cover, the bust of an imposing spellcaster, and the title, which you, I believe, what language does your character know?
Give me a second.
It should be
languages. Yeah.
Bottom left under proficiencies will be languages.
Oh, she has it empty. Something there.
By chance, does she know Gnomish script?
What language?
Gnomish. Gnome.
She knows Celestial and Common.
Celestial and Infernal. Fair enough.
No, Common.
And what?
Common.
Oh, Common. Okay. Fair enough. These runes have nothing to do with the divine upper planes of good and light. Seems to be more dealing with the magical weave throughout the world. But at least there, you're certain, in terms of the sigils. If you were to give the tome a quick glance as well, opening a few pages, you can peruse its contents. It is a treatise on extradimensional spaces, similar to those created by certain spells, like the ones that create magnificent mansions out of thin air, or open waygates. And in that arcane shorthand, if you struggle understanding the language, perhaps Bertrand can approach and help you out with that. You see there is the original mage's shorthand, Fistandia's additions in the margins, detailing how she created a permanent version of Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion. Does anybody wish to...
Yeah. Well, I was going to say if Bertrand can come over here and help us decipher.
He's there. We're not in combat, so
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything with excuse me, pertaining to the work of oh my god, I keep forgetting his name. Matrius. Anything with curses that you could maybe decipher from this book? Fortunately, no one here in the group speaks Gnomish.
This is well, it's not all Gnomish. It's mostly the margins and stuff are written in various Elvish and Gnomish scripts. It seems that both the sages have added to this book, but most of it is in common. This is not really a book about hexes or anything. It seems to be out of the ordinary for Atreus to have had this in his possession, but maybe he got distracted from his other studies, and he found this to sort of answer those questions. I know this book. It's not about hexes. It was donated to Candlekeep with the rest of the library of the great mage Fistandia following her untimely disappearance. Very sad. In her will, Fistandia bequeathed her collection to Candlekeep in appreciation for the many, many years she spent in these hallowed halls. Many researchers perused this book over the years it spent here in the library, but knowledge of the command word was useless without the location of the gateway to the mansion.
That book has the command word.
It does? It's right here. And he points to a part where Fistania seems to have recorded the command word to open the mansion's gateway. The word being scepter. He doesn't say it out loud.
And that word is just in common, or is there?
It's written
Some
with
dialect that has to be-
these like Elvish script.
Gotcha.
Oh. Excellent. I can read that.
Yeah.
I take it that you are not reading it out loud. You think that potentially it could activate something?
I've never heard of any such spells, and to mess around with the weave and the arcane is very, very dangerous. Very bad things can happen if you just willy-nilly mess around with magic. I would not dare be the cause of chaos or anything like that. All the spells that I know and practiced have been practiced for many, many years. So no, I would not mess with it.
Well, perhaps that's maybe where Matrius ended up. Maybe he did speak the word and got pulled in.
Rex, did you find anything?
I will be like checking, like for any wood carving or figurines around the room.
Sure. The first thing that catches your eye is a wooden globe that has it's right where Ella is hovering. Perfectly round, carved, very minutely detailed work, masterfully crafted. The landmarks sort of rising out of the surface and valleys dipping into the surface. So you can actually see elevation throughout this. And various spots along this globe are marked various continents, countries, terrain, zones throughout. It's all made of this marvelously multi-dyed wood. There is another such model that is not composed entirely of wood. It's sort of like a wood, brass, iron, silver, gold sort of sculpture of the different planetary bodies known, the moons revolving around this planet and other planets beyond. There's a wooden chalkboard with various diagrams on it, wooden shelves that are pretty sturdy, hosting all manner of reagents. You see like a large like red and another large green eyeball kind of glassed and stationed on these shelves. Other sort of gemstones and whatnot placed upon it. The stairs are from wood, the platform is from wood. No ships in this study room, unfortunately.
It's a shame, but Millennium, I found your map, and I point to the celestial. How is it? Celestial? No, the gems.
A planetarium, essentially.
Exactly.
Elaine, as you poke it, it just kind of like creaks a little bit and does swivels. And as it does so, mechanical gears revolve at the base of it, actually turning the various celestial bodies around each other as they revolve.
I am thoroughly distracted by it.
Fair enough. Yeah. You see.
I'd like to see the gemstones.
The gemstones? Sure. There's a variety of them. A couple very large rupees about half the size of your palm, another sapphire about a quarter size of your palm, a sack full of various pearls and jades and obsidians, all carved with various runes. Some of them using that dwarvish script, others are just magical runes, all used in various castings of spells. Shiny.
I want to steal it.
Roll me.
Am I able to steal it?
You roll me a sleight of hand. I'll give you advantage on that because Bertrand is currently with Isla perusing the various journal stuff. He doesn't really pay attention, but you do note the familiar, the ever-staring owl just kind of swivel its head slowly around and just waiting for the perfect moment to just like, okay, now, and just quickly catch a fistful of gems. So that would be a sleight of hand with advantage. Okay. 20 versus a familiar's perception. You are a professional at this. You've done this half a dozen times in the last week alone. You grab a whole fistful. In your hand are several gems. In your small hands, they're quite large and an awkward fit, but you manage to grab 2 total. One is just perfectly round obsidian with a peaked, almost teardrop top to it. Round base, teardrop, with some sort of like an infernal sigil upon it. And another one is just like a simple carved ruby, also carved with like this ring of sigils around it. Both would probably fetch you like anywhere from 50 to like 100 gold pieces if you were to like get them on the black market. At some point, the familiar just kind of swivels its head around to look at you, and you're just kind of, you've already long pocketed them and just looking around innocently enough.
We're making money now.
Fair enough.
It's gonna be a good haul.
Anybody else do anything else as you're looking around?
I'll ask Bertrand. You say that the power, that this is the power word, but does it say the location of the place?
Well, if we were to believe the journals of Matreus, it's upon one of these walls here in this sanctum, perhaps near his study. I know Matreus. He was a very insightful, curious individual who, any room he walked into, any room, all the time, he would just cast detect magic and just hold that and literally scour every place. Maybe he found it near the place where he was teaching. You know those types, those wizard types who just can't help but interrupt the DM immediately upon entering the room and just cast detect magic.
Well, I can
I
order
get-
detect magics, but if we have the command word, and we think that he might have fallen into here, then we can just try every wall in the room, potentially.
I suppose.
Scepter.
Okay. As you speak the command word, all throughout tints this deep shade of blue and violet. And for a moment you might think like, I'm back there, back in Astral, I'm coming back. But no, this is different. Magic, but different. Time seems to slow down. Stop. You see McGillicuddy freeze in place, frozen in the moment. You and your companions, however, seem unaffected. Though your hair and clothes do seem to writhe as if you're underwater a little bit, and Ella's wings, as the way they flutter, they seem to flutter a little bit slower, but she maintains a hover. Then something glints, glistening and forming in the air before you. A shimmering, translucent set of doors appears right before you, Elenian. These doors begin to appear and then slowly fade, and it's apparent that they will disappear entirely in a matter of minutes, but you have time to look around and try and figure out what just happened.
Did anyone else feel that? Probably. This is maybe where
Close,
Demetrius ended up.
It's close, but not the same.
Ayla, there is something wrong with your hair.
With my hair?
Yes, it's all whooshy and frizzy all around.
Your non-cap and hair just kind of flowing around you, like all around, wraith-like.
Yeah, I go to like kind of tame it and everything. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's the most natural oils that a lady can get. But yeah, I guess I just kind of pull it and tie it down and kind of let it.
Like as
do
you
its
do,
thing.
you get to look around. Everything is like tinted this bluish, cool shade, like falling star. Astral shapes seem to fall into this portal, appearing from a distance, beyond focus, and just all attracted into this almost black hole-like set of doors that are slowly dissipating away as the spell holds.
What is this precisely? I'll get close to it and I'll start poking my neck inside the gate.
Sure. As you poke your neck out the gate, you all see that as he crosses the threshold, Eric's head disappears. There's just a neck left and just these two hands that are holding onto the gateway gate. You peer inside and you see an entirely different space. It's dark in here, but there's torchlight beyond. The floor has turned from stone to this wood. There's a smell of food in the distance. Somebody's cooking nearby. And you hear footsteps as well, about 10 feet away. And this voice. Oh, that's weird. Did something just... And the footsteps begin to approach closer. And you can hear the creak of a lantern upon its hinges and an encroaching light. What do you do?
Well, do be careful, small one. These wizards types. They like to poke their head or they like to stick their nose in unsavory places sometime. But assuming I can't see or anything, knowing what's on the other side.
All you see is Eric's kind of leaning, head gone, just neck, and where his neck is at along the lines, this purplish miasma seems to seep away as he's in contact with the spell.
I'll pull my neck back and... Hey, I think I found the dungeon. And they're cooking there. It's food time, I think.
Well, do we enter? I suspect this is where Matrius might have gone at the port of centering. Though if it is the dungeon, we're told not to enter the dungeon.
That's because they keep all the treasure there. They don't want us to see what they have.
Yes, but that elf downstairs, Master Sindor, could use a little bit of a step out in fresh air and kindly remove the stick out his ass. But sometimes we have to dare an adventure to see what's out there for us. We were brought here for a reason. So I look down to Atrix and to just Atrix and just say all right, well, go on, be careful, let's step through.
Atrix, you look onto Isla. You can see behind Isla, Bertrand's just stuck in this pose of don't say it, don't say the word, and it's just frozen. And then you turn towards the waygate, and you can see a hovering hand holding a lantern come out of it. And then this elderly, sagely face, these moon glasses upon it, a long white beard, and this free-flowing hair, squint past the glasses and look at a bunch of you. You're oh, you've opened it. Good. Come inside, take a look. Come.
Are you God damn it.
Matrius.
Matrius, I can never remember.
I am. Yes, I am Master Sage Matrius. And you must be very acute students. Come see what I found.
I'll follow.
I'll jump in.
And that's the last that your character ever said before they died. Anyways.
Yep. Bastard.
Does anybody linger behind for any reason? Or am I just taking everybody in here?
I'm ready to go.
I'll go in.
Okay. In that case, I'll put us on the inside of this place. As one by one, you arrive here. you are elsewhere. It is open here, airy, constructed of stone blocks, but the floor is hardwood, different, sturdy, deep brown color, illuminated all throughout this hallway you find yourself in. You can see there are oil lamps upon the walls, and before you is this individual who introduced himself as Atreus. In this foyer and hallway, you get a look around up to the ceiling, which arches about 15 feet overhead. A bit taller than you used to for rooms, but allowing free flow of air and such.
We be on a different map. We're still in the.
Oh yeah. Sorry, maybe I didn't switch you guys. There you go. You're over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the arched ceiling overhead and a long hallway that stretches out on either side of you onto this foyer. Standing in the middle of this area is this middle-aged man, but a little bit beyond middle-age perhaps, wearing these gray robes and these glasses, and he has like a notebook in one hand and this lantern that he's holding in the other, and he's inspecting the lot of you. Oh, you are a curious bunch, aren't you? Initially surprised to see you, and having introduced himself, he expresses delight that you have opened the portal to the mansion. And he goes to sort of say, I have been trying different command words for the last half an hour to open the door. You see, the one that got me in here doesn't seem to be the same one to get me out. But you've opened it, and that's good. Good. You seem like take a...
Question, is the door still open?
So behind you is that, the luminescent miasma of purple that outlines a set of double doors. Still open.
I will poke the end of my staff through the door.
It's open. It goes through it like going through air. Yeah. Fair enough. Maintaining it there.
If you've been trying to open it, I suppose we should at least try and keep it open, make sure it doesn't close on us.
He takes on like a thoughtful expression, pausing for instance, thinking, tapping his chin. Yes, well, I did study enough to maintain the way forward. But why leave so soon? This mansion must be a treasure trove of information after all. There's no telling what wonders it holds. As an example, look at this! And he shows you this intricately carved figurine of like this impish creature that has is entirely encrusted in like this obsidian, has like an infernal rune on its like forehead. I found this here. I am curious what other treasures might lie therein. So I have a proposition for you all. While I take this to Candlekeep to study it and see what it might hold, why won't you act as my forward scouting group? All the while I maintain this waygate from the other side and open it from time to time for you to step out. That way you're not trapped in here.
Well, that is a good proposition, but we do hardly know what's in this place. When he said, like, what wonders, I would subtly underneath my breath say, like, or what horrors could lie in here.
This has been I believe this has been Fistandia's dwelling. I do not think that any horrors would dwell here, but who knows what information. Certainly this is why you sought this place, no? Is that now why you're here?
Well, there's actually been curses that's been taking over some of the countryside, and we heard that you were an expert in the field, that you could help aid us. But perhaps a favor for a favor could be traded.
Perhaps. I would certainly like recompense for my work. but you don't seem to be the type to be holding upon you anything to trade other than your capabilities as adventurers. Is that right? So I propose this. I would very much dearly like to continue to explore the mansion's mysteries myself, but I could be much more useful back in Candlekeep. Thanks to my research I conducted to find the mansion, I have the skills to keep the portal open from the other side. If you would take this chance to do this errand for me, I'm willing to accompany you back to your village in exchange for your time here and efforts of exploring the mansion and see what I can do regarding this curse.
Well, you would have a full pledge from the House of Veridana to help you and with my compatriots. So, did you do any exploring other than Justice Hall? Anything?
I've only just arrived. I've grabbed this little trinket from nearby, the library just behind your back there. But I haven't really done much exploring myself. No.
The trinket that he has, you said it was like an imp or anything?
Yeah, he looks like this.
God, tell me that's not evil.
I don't know. Didn't get to explore yet. That's why I intend to take it back to the Candlekeep and see what it holds. Perhaps I'll talk to. He says the name of the Master Sage who is in charge of like the domain of 9 hells and other such things, and maybe with their sort of knowledge combined with him knowing hexes and curses and her knowing the 9 hells, maybe they can decipher what this thing is. Maybe it's just an art piece, but maybe it holds something within it. That's why he wants to go back to Candlekeep before the doors close from the other side and I'm trapped here. So, do we have a deal?
Yeah, we would have a deal.
You say that where does he have that trinket? Sorry.
In his hands.
I missed that. In his hand. Okay.
Right, then I shall make my way before the doors close, shall I? I don't know how old...
Yes.
Okay.
So sorry, but real
Yeah.
quick, I just wanted to take a look at it, but then just kind of maybe hint to see or ask anyone. I would look over to Ella and ask her, be like, well, perhaps you would have any insight to maybe what this trinket may be, or maybe anyone else.
I think it's a harpy or a siren. I'm not sure. I think I have seen it before.
Like a harpy? Maybe. I've never seen bald harpies before. But who knows?
You need to step outside the academy more often. They're in every island I have been.
Well, if you explore around and you can bring back any insight that you discover fused with your well-traveled knowledge, I would very much look forward to you sitting down in my lectures and sharing your 2 cents. I intend to bring this discovery to light, share it with the entire campus. But that is plans for the future. At present, we have the concern of the closing doors behind you. I would very much like to step through them before I am trapped in here with you guys with no knowledge of how to open these doors from the inside. Somebody must remain outside to open these doors.
I see no problem with that. I'm continuing to hold my staff to prevent said doors from closing physically, at least.
You're very inquisitive and very, very much wise in doing that. I tried the exact same thing. That's how I nearly lost my hand. I held the doors open and it closed on me, and he just shows you, like, if you clip fingernails.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, that would be unfortunate. I rather like this stuff.
Yes. Well, do not worry. I'm just going to make my way through and keep it open from the other side. All right. Good luck. You see him step through the double doors leading back to the study room. And his body just vanishes out of view. And then the doors just remain open. They grow in size and kind of sustain themselves at full capacity. And you can hear his voice from beyond. It's working! Marvelous!
Well, I'm glad we have a connection still. But in the meantime, I guess everyone be on your toes. We're not really too sure what we're walking into. But a favor's a favor, and we'll help him save one of his colleagues.
As you are speaking to your group, you can hear like the crackling of stone from the other side, from the other portal. Several like small like pebbles falling onto the stone floor, and you can hear Professor Matrice's voice from the other side. Wait, what's this? Oh God! Oh no! And just like these shrieks from beyond the door, and then the portal slams shut.
I freaking knew it.
I think we have a problem.
Everything will be fine. We simply need to figure out how to open the door from within here. I'm sure we're resourceful enough to figure that out. I don't suppose anyone has an idea of how to use that.
Well, I may find something strange in this wood, floor, or in these walls. Sometimes they put secret passages.
If we find one, I can fly to it and pretty soon.
Ella is fluttering around, searching as well. Ella, just on Rule 20, if you look on the map, those little wooden things in the walls, those are doors kind of from bird's eye view, which you can interact with as well, should you choose to. But as a group, what do you wish to do?
Open the doors?
Okay. Ella, curious, creaks open the door. And you see the following. This room contains a battered wooden mannequin and a weapon rack holding staffs and daggers, all lit by the indigo-tinted light streaming through the window. The floor is stained and scorched, and at the far end of the room you see movement. A broom hovers in the air, sweeping the floor by itself. Now, your character, I believe, does not have what's called dark vision. So as you're putting your token around, you might not be able to see into this darkness besides silhouettes and stuff. Do you have any source of flight that, upon you, anything you can use to look around as you are exiting the lit hallway? What do you have the light cantrip? Cool.
As well.
So, the light cantrip in D&D is a simple spell that you can cast at will. It's part of your creature, of your entity. You simply must choose an object or a person or something to cast a spell on. What do you choose?
Headband.
The headband upon your head.
Wow.
Tapping it illuminates, casting a bright light all throughout, about 20 feet away from you, and an additional dim light throughout as well. I'll go ahead and put that on your token. And that lasts for the better part of an hour without you having to concentrate on that spell. There, now you're casting light. And you get a good glimpse into the room before you, including that self-hovering, sweeping broom. What do you and your companions do?
Is anybody else small enough to come in as well?
Through the door, yeah. The door is about 6 feet high, and wide enough for anybody to come in through it.
It is sweeping.
Well, this seems like this place has seen a little bit of a better time once. So what is there any? I don't know. It's just sweeping.
But it's so well crafted. Look at it.
Touch it.
Touch it.
Maybe you can fly on it.
Does the kobold touch the self-sweeping broom?
I'll try to jump on top of it.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check.
Sure. Acrobatics. 21.
You daftly jump on top of the broom, clutch onto it, and it begins to whiz around the room in a panic as you're essentially mounted on top of it. Not in control, but mounted on top of it.
Help! It's wild! And after a few seconds, I'll drop off of it.
You drop off of You drop off it, rolling deftly into a three-pointed landing, and dust yourself off. The broom turns around, kind of handle away from you, and taps you on the head, almost like in a warning gesture of like, "Naughty, don't do that again," and returns to its sweeping job. Looking outside of the window, I don't know why you're not speaking out loud. I don't really reach that, but looking outside the window, you see a purple miasma that stretches onwards into the infinite, disappearing into this like foggy horizon landscape. It is like the astral plane, but there are no stars here.
And where are they? Where are the stars? There should be stars there. You see a slight shudder. Wrong.
This swirling indigo miasma hovers like 20 feet from the building on all sides as you look out the window. It's a little bit intimidating, but also inviting discovery. Not something that you've had much contact before, especially all of you that are not alien. Elenian.
I'll jump a little bit to see outside the window, and this doesn't look like the Candlekeep.
I will lift you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You see that he's kicking in the air.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the Candlekeep. Where are we precisely?
I don't know. It's similar to the astral sea that I see when I jump, but it's wrong. There are no stars. Where is the light of the stars?
Okay, enough. Put me down. I understand why the broom didn't like it.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's too high.
I will then put you down.
Okay. As the broom continues to sweep about, it sweeps the weapons rack nearby, and the mannequin standing there. You see, like, the mannequin has like numerous cuts and chips. The floor is stained with scorch marks. The weapon rack itself has an area of mundane but finely made weapons. Daggers, quarterstaffs, darts, upon like a bandolier hanging from like one of the pegs. You see there is a diagram mounted on one of the walls, a diagram of like attacks parry positions for wielders of staffs and daggers. Seem to have been some sort of a training room.
Looking at the weapons and kind of figuring out, like we know we're in the mansion of probably the Atreus's friend and everything, but would this be possible? Or Vistendia.
It's a mage who disappeared long ago, leaving behind the book the tome, as part of her will.
Vistendia. I'm writing this down. Yeah, well, if it was like forever ago, then I guess the timeline. I was gonna try to decipher if it's like, we could look at the weapons and see their quality or when they were made, maybe like a history thing. But if we know that she was alive like years ago, then it's probably around that timeline.
Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I would spend a quick minute looking over the instruction diagrams on the walls and trying to judge. Do they look like something that is for basics of self-defense, or something that someone who actually knows how to do this properly?
The latter. Somebody who actually knows. This is like soldier level combat techniques.
I will start running through a couple of the patterns. Just kind of okay.
Training maneuver. As you're going through the flows, you can tell that there's an art behind this. Each motion bleeds into the other, and there's a sort of continuous momentum with the staff as you're moving it. The muscles just kind of feeling natural as they flow versus like working against you. Give you enough time to practice these motions, you can probably become much more proficient in combat than you already are. Yeah.
Well, whoever has training in this room, if they were actually doing what's instructed here, is actually reasonably competent with weaponry. I'm impressed.
Well, hopefully we don't run into said person. Who knows if that little trinket made it out of this place, something else might be contained in here, possibly wreaking havoc on the other side for our friend Matrius. But, well, I would think that everyone knows how to handle themselves, correct? Should it be that it comes down to a fight?
Yes.
But
what is everybody's combat experience?
Mine is mostly from trying to train my physical body. You guys would all have been able to tell as I was kind of running through those that I was incredibly comfortable doing that.
Did
I'll bring out like my sword and
did
a
Alex
nightmare.
a nightmare upon the seas? Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I would have on my back this whole time a two-handed greatsword. So, and being of a noble house, I would understand, the proper move set, I guess you could say. I would turn to Ella and actually look at her a little bit and say, darling, you're quite small. Hopefully you can hold your own in a fight. I'm sure you can. Perhaps a nice spar for the dummy here, and point to the training dummy. See what she can do.
I can use my magic. I haven't had much physical experience, but I can cause a little bit of havoc.
Well, that's good enough for me. I would hold you to your word then. Or I would trust you. But magic is a powerful source, so it's maybe we'll kind of hold on it for a little bit.
You see the broom sweep the dust onto the floor, and the way the pattern is, it spells out a little word. It's like on guard onto the floor, and just hovers before you.
Blast it.
Do you accept the challenge?
I do.
In that case, roll for initiative. I'll let you do it on your own because last time I did it, I overwrote Ivan's initiative from 18 to 7, and I felt so bad.
Yeah, no worries. I thought it was mine. I didn't notice either.
Yeah. In a gesture of friendly bout, an opportunity to kind of show yourself off, and perhaps as a part of its purpose here in this room, the broom challenges you to a little duel to see what you're capable of. It being sort of on its toes, it is near the top of the initiative order, but Elenian, if you wish to do anything, you're at the top of the round.
So I will go ahead and move up, and I'm going to try and grapple.
Okay. Trying to grapple it, he's going to attempt to essentially rule an athletics check contested by the broom's athletics or dexterity. If he succeeds, he grabs onto it, it's not going anywhere, movement-wise. Broom, not very strong, ruled a 13.
Athletics check. Did not do so well.
Okay. But slightly stronger, animated by the magic, it slips the grasp of the astral elf and maintains its moving capabilities. That was one attack used, one action. Do you wish to do anything else on your turn?
Let me just quickly double check. I don't remember if I can use martial arts if I did the.
Sure thing.
If I didn't take the attack action. Checks. When you use the attack action. So now I use the grapple action, right? No, when you use the grapple is using the attack action.
It's
so
a special attack. Yeah.
Yeah, so I will use martial arts to go ahead and kind of sweep my leg under and try and knock the broom down.
Okay. A 21 hits the broom's armor class. It is unable to dodge out of the way, nor does it wear any armor. Beating it, it hits for 5 bludgeoning damage. That being the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Okay. Regaining sort of the hovering stance, it stabilizes itself and goes for a counterattack against our fellow Astral Elf. The broomstick hitting for 15 to hit against your armor class.
He's gonna miss. I kind of just go move with the strike.
Right.
And avoid it.
Ruling with a strike, dodging it all together. The broom flies over the Astral Elf and behind you, out of reach of the monk, and behind you, Ella. And it goes for a second attack. 16 to hit against your AC armor class. On your sheet, that should be at the very top of your sheet, little number says AC. Does a 16 beat it? Is it higher or equal to it? Whatever number you have under AC.
14.
So 16 beats 14. That hits your AC, meaning that the broom hits you for 4 bludgeoning damage, which is not too bad, but still hurts. You deduct 4 hit points from your total hit points, going down from a 10 to a 6. That is the end of its turn. It moved, it flew by. As it does so, it's going to use the rest of its movement to sort of fly over yonder. That being said, it is now your turn, Ella.
Attack!
Turn it into splinters.
I don't know how to make other people see health bars unless you give control
Okay.
of the character, but I will announce when people are bloodied and stuff. But people can communicate. You can tell each other how hurt you are. Yeah.
Yep.
So with Eldritch Blast, it is a range attack. You charge up a ball of Fey magic and launch it in the direction of the broom. Unfortunately, ruling a 1 plus your modifier for total 6 does not hit the broom's armor class. It dodges out of the way. It nearly hits Eric's, clashing against the wall. But it's a good attempt. So often in D&D, things happen where the dice dictate the outcome. It's a miss, but a good try. Is there anything that you wish to do on your turn in terms of moving around, staying where you are? I don't know if you get anything with bonus action. That depends on your sheet. But I'll give you the opportunity to think about that.
No,
And if there's anything you notice while your allies are going, I'll allow you to do things in retrospect, especially since you guys are in a turn order one after another. That being said, if you can't think of anything, I'll move on to Eric's. As you dodge out of the way, the Eldritch Blast blasting into the wall behind you, what do you do?
Okay. Avoiding the lighting that almost crashed into my wooden shield, I'll pick the cutlass and try to cut the broom in half.
Okay, go for that hit. A 24 to hit at level 1 is insane. But you roll 19 or some shit. Yeah. With a cutlass that hits the broom. Go ahead and roll damage. 8 piercing damage. You cut the broom in half, bloodied. It splinters off the top of it and lands, and the broom just kind of like sags sadly as it becomes like about, short. But it's still standing. It's a heavy hit. It's still standing.
That's my turn. I don't have anything else at the moment.
Okay. Following Arix is Isla.
I'll take the two-handed greatsword from behind my back with one hand, grip it with two, and then I'm going to kind of just take like a little bit of a powerful stance and try to put my whole weight behind it, and just go for a cleave.
Go for it.
With a great weapon, master. That sucks. 4.
No. Too slow. The heavy weapon trails too slow in that arc, smashing upon the floor as the broom swirls out of the way and just kind of mockingly dances around his sword in an almost laughing gesture, if the broom could laugh, bopping up and down. That being said, it is top of the round with Elenian.
I will come around the quarterstaff to try and sweep out the bottom again to try and level it.
Too dexterous. Swivels out of the way.
And on this,
Yep.
Doing that, I'll plant the quarterstaff into the ground and spin around and kick it.
This broom is running circles around you guys. Having made it smaller, it's a little bit more dexterous, and unfortunately does not hit its AC of 15. But it's a good attempt.
Yep, and that is... Actually, I will move to there.
With an underlining sweep, it kind of understrikes the dust on the floor of On Guard and flies by, point like the splinter point first, toward Ella, with a natural 20 to hit. Natural 20s hit automatically, doesn't matter what your armor class, and they deal double damage when it happens. There's a 5% chance that any 20-sided die will land on it. You can have critical strikes, I can have critical strikes. It happens. Unfortunately, Ella, that's going to strike you 2-0 hit points, I believe, because 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 points of damage will bring your 6 HP down 2-0, and that's where you stop. When a character hits 0, do you know what happens? I don't want to mansplain things if you've already read book.
I die?
No. You go down, like, on one knee, bleeding out of combat. Not out of combat, but not being able to do anything on your turn, but rule what's called a death save. If you fail those death saves, your character dies, but you can also see those death saves and become stable, or even, like, go back into combat with, like, a second wind breath. Or another ally can try to stabilize you. Characters reach 0 hit points, it happens. Unfortunately, that critical strike is brutal. But the broom, not being too malicious, will simply take that as a victory against you, and with a second attack, go against... let's go against Martin.
Yeah, again, kind of catching that in the staff.
Right.
Redirecting it.
Okay, fair enough. And that ends its turn. Ella, on the beginning of your turn, since you start your turn at 0 HP and you're not stable yet, you rule what's called death saves. On your sheet that's like right below your health. If you rule a 10 or above, it's a success. 9 or below, it's a failure. 3 successes, you return to stable condition. Natural 20 returns you with 1 HP and you're back at it. You're back in combat. A failure brings you down to 1 failure. 3 failures, character death. A natural 1 is the worst case scenario where you receive 2 failures. And 18 is a success. Above 10, you receive 1 success on your sheet, which I'll mark and you can see how it looks like if you want. Yeah, 1 success. 3 of those and you're back at it. Eric's, you see Ella is down. The broom is still fighting, but barely. What do you do?
Okay, I was mute. I rush into the room.
Okay.
And as I'm rushing, there is like a wind that get inside the room too and pick up Ella. I'm casting Healing Word on her.
Okay. With a trace of magic, the wind spell travels through the room. Go ahead and roll that. So rolling a 6. You, Ella, now recover 6 hit points, and because you're above 0, you're back at consciousness, back in the fight. Health being at 6.
And immediately go for a cut into the broom while it's surrounded by my allies, so 24.
With packed tactics, that's a 24 to hit. Go for damage. That is perfect lethal. Now, you have a choice. Do you maliciously cut down this foe and destroy the object? Or do you just strike it hard enough for it to be rendered incapacitated but not destroyed?
It's incapacitated, and tell this to your friends. Don't mess with the terror of the 7 seas.
Fair enough. With that, we conclude combat as the foe reaches 0 HP with a non-lethal hit. The broom, not losing its magic with a non-lethal hit. I'll just rule it that way. It doesn't usually work that way, but I feel bad killing this thing. Fair enough. With its last motions, you just see it trail with one whisker of its broom end. Touche. Into the dust. Your companion, Ella, is back with 6 hit points. Back to consciousness.
I'm assuming that that's still noticeably injured.
Yes.
I will walk over, pulling out my healer's kit, and I will apply some bandages, healing you for 8 hit points.
That will bring Ella back to 10 hit points for maximum. You recover from this friendly bout. You got a little show off a little bit of your combat skills. Right.
Yes.
Anyway.
Be a little more careful. Stay further out of range. Avoid getting hit.
Well, she didn't lie. She said that she didn't have much experience in combat. It's not a lie.
Well,
But-
I think we might get a couple more notches on our belt the further we press in. In combat, I mean.
Yes. I will go ahead and grab the bandolier of darts.
Sure. Described before, there's like 20 darts on this bandolier, all contained, where to be thrown one after the other.
Yes. I will grab all of those unless other folks want to grab them.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to do while you're in this room? Excuse me.
Is that another door on the back?
It's a window through which you can see the purple
window.
miasma.
Sorry, yeah, that's right.
It's weird because of the walls, but yeah, it's a window.
I remember that. I'm just stupid. I have ADD. Well, there's not much in this room. I'll press on.
Yes.
A mighty foe. That's only what was here.
At the end of this hallway, under one of the lanterns, is a door at the end of the hallway and one directly to your right.
I'll take the one directly to my right. Before that, I'm going to cast light on my headpiece as well. And
Cool. On the little symbol on your forehead there. 20/20 vision. Fleur de lis, yeah. Fair enough. Entering the room, immediately fluttering around our little Fae. No visual scales remaining. You get a good glimpse into the inside of this room as well. It seems to be some sort of a library. Tall shelves filled with books line the walls of this room. 2 more shelves run through the middle of the room with a 10-foot wide aisle between them. Several stacks of books are piled high throughout the room. There are small reading desks with cozy scarlet chairs in the corner. As our little Fae friend here gets a good look around, you see that the shelves contain books on Fistandia's favorite subjects: arcana, natural science, religion, astrology, planar travel, as well as volumes on poetry, mythology, and folktales.
I will be distracted by a book on planar travel and pick it up. Start flipping through, trying to find anything about getting to the astral realm.
You get a quick glimpse into it. It will take some time to read it, better part of an hour, but you get a good glimpse of how various mages and spellcasters were capable of that. You and I both play D&D. Do you really want me to go into detail into that?
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's just this is what I'm doing while I get distracted and look into this while everyone else is doing other things in the room.
Fair enough. Anybody looking for anything specific?
You say that there is a scorch marks in the floor too, right?
Scorch marks were in the other room, in the training room. This library does not have any evidence of flame, aside from the little candle lights contained within the various lanterns, which, if you were to press your hands to, you can tell they don't provide any heat.
Okay. I'll be inspecting the bookshelf, trying to see if there is any secrets behind any book or under it.
Roll me investigation.
I'm trying to find if there is a secret passage at the moment, but let's see.
Sure. You're just kind of pulling on various books and such. You find a very interesting looking book. In fact, it's familiar. You already know it. You've already seen it. It's the exact same copy of that tome that you guys were browsing in Candlekeep, with the face of that spellcaster on its front. But the runes upon its spine are different. They're shaped differently, almost spelling out a letter, R, upon its spine.
R?
R. Yeah. A very large R, intricately made with the glyphs upon the spine.
I'll show the book to Ayla?
Yeah, Isla.
It's the same we found before, but
It could be a copy of some sort. Flipping through it, I mean, would there ever be that we could find a command word for something else, or
You flip
does
through
this
all the
R?
You flip through all the pages. I'll just tell you because it's very obvious. As you open it, you flip through all the pages. They all contain the same sigil at the center of the page. And if you were to flick through it, it's the exact same thing. R, open over and over again. And the pages just go on and on and on and on and on until
I close the book and I hold it up, do any of the other books here have letters on the spine as well? Would it spell something out?
If you were to take a good 10 minutes to look around, no.
No.
They are all actual books with actual contents on various subjects I mentioned before: poetry, mythology, folktales, religion, astrology, and all that, and natural sciences and arcana. They're all actual books, but this, it just stands out. It's familiar, but different with an R. As our Fae friend, Ella, flutters around, you catch something at the edge of her eye. Looking around for anything interesting, there's this letter opener with a bejeweled handle made of silver, and the blade is polished and shiny, laying next to a set of already open envelopes. If you're on the lookout for anything shiny like that.
Can I read the letters? Or
There's no letters remaining. They've already been taken out of their envelopes. Only the envelopes remain, and they're sort of addressed to Fistandia. The paper is yellowed and aged and old, but the letters have been already taken out of these, and somebody has made a neat pile of envelopes next to this letter opener.
I pocket it?
Sure. You pocket the letter opener. What about the rest of you?
If there wasn't anything in the book, then I thought maybe it'd like spell out a message or something on the other bookcases with that lettering.
Your intuition that this is one letter of many is not unfounded. It's just that what you're looking for is not in this room.
Okay. Well, then I'll take it with us then.
Fair enough. As our kobold friend here keeps on looking for a secret passage, because of a 10, it took you a little bit of extra time. 20 minutes pass. You are 100% certain there's only two ways out of here: the door you came through, and another door to the west. No secret passage here, and you're like 110% certain.
This room is just a room, guys. Why were you looking for something secret? Doesn't make sense.
I will pocket or put the book that I found on planar travel into my bag to
Fair enough.
fully read later after having kind of looked through it and seen that there's nothing that immediately helps me.
There is a potential in one of the chapters that you read. You've always been attuned to the astral plane, capable of sort of jumping distances as you glimpse in and out of that space. There are guidelines in the book of how to stabilize that process and make it more consistent and in your control. Aside from that, as I mentioned, there's another door out of here or the way back.
Screw it. We'll go through the
Okay.
one in here.
Okay, you open it and are greeted by the same miasma horizon. It's a semicircular patio here, paved with gray flagstones, nestled against the building, lit by that swirling indigo miasma that surrounds the entire mansion throughout. Looking where you came, but up, you can tell you're on the first floor of 3 above you. There's 2 more floors above you, and 1 more floor below you. Beyond that, the building just drops off into the miasma and reaches upwards into that miasma.
So, looking at the house, its shape, its build, its 3 stories and everything, from either history, looking at it and its architecture, would I be able to put my finger on and like anything and say like, oh, this was the house of forever long ago, it disappeared for X reason maybe, or anything like that?
Okay, roll me history. This is, you don't recognize it as anybody's particular house, but by the design of it, you can tell that it is elvish in nature and probably based on another house seen in elvish towns. Like a copy of, placed here in this like pocket dimension, conjured even. It's not. You're not sure if it was like taken from another place, and that's a very interesting point. I like that. That's funny. You're just not certain. More likely, it has been either a copy of or conjured from scratch. It's not like you could fit the entire house through the way gate you came in here, so that would have had to have, either built here or. Yeah.
If we look at the upper levels, is there another balcony or the like up there?
No.
Do we see?
There is a wall with no windows, but you can tell it's 2 floors. If you were to just sort of gauge and guess that the floors are the same height as this one, it's another 45 feet above you, so.
Yeah. Well. I'll look down. There's nothing solid underneath us, right? It's just this same miasma that...
Cloud miasma doesn't no stones hovering in space or anything, no.
Have a look around.
Yeah. You can have a look around, but I've sort of described what you can see from here. 2 floors up, 1 floor down, miasma throughout. Flagstone beneath your feet.
Well,
I think it's better if we keep checking inside. This Mist doesn't look too healthy, if you ask me.
Probably.
Yeah, it does seem like it has some kind of taint to it, so
I will open
let's
this
work our
door.
way in.
Sure. It leads back to the hallway, spilling light onto the outside, inside, intermixing the orange glow with the purple miasma.
Well, at the very least, we now know that we are well and truly trapped here if we can't find a way to open that door.
Well, we kind of have to do or die now.
Yes. Shall we continue on to the other side of the room? Or other side of the building?
Oh, there's one door here. Might as well just clear it room by room, make sure nothing sneaks up on us.
Yes, another mighty broomstick.
Okay, opening that door, you're greeted by the meow of a feline creature.
A kitty.
Kitty. The entire far wall of this room is a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf. Even more books are resting on several large scarlet armchairs and small wooden tables. And there are several paintings on the wall. But more importantly, and notably, a fluffy black cat is curled up on one of the chairs. You notice that as you push the door in, it was like slightly ajar already. It wasn't shut. Perhaps to let in these creatures in and out.
Well, first let's be honest. I gotta go pet the cat.
Yeah, the cat has already set up as you entered. Meows plaintively and jumps down from the chair, approaches, seems domesticated. Kind. You pet the cat. Go ahead, roll me an animal handling check.
I can speak with animals.
Oh, that's good.
Do you wish to speak to the animal?
Yes, yeah. Ask it what it knows. How to get out, how to escape.
Sure. Is it a two-way conversation where you
It's speak with please.
Cool, okay, cool. So I think it's a two-way speak with animals. Okay, fair enough. It rubs against Isla's leg and approaches you and says, "What do I know? How to get out of here? Why would you ever want to get out of here? There's so much food and fish and goodies in this place. It is heaven." Meow. Ooh. It does not know of a way of escaping, but you can ask it questions and speak to it, no problem. Seems friendly.
Where does he source his food from?
Sorry?
Where does he source his food from?
Oh, I can show you. It's right this way. It goes down the hallway and turns like eastward and begins to like scratch at this door over yonder. And you see it open, and holding the handle on the other side is this creature. Minute, leathery skin, two like tiny bat wings on its back, and it flutters in the air, opening the door, and the cat slinks in, and you can see it join another cat beside a set of these cat balls at the far side of the room. The creature that opens the door then turns its head towards you and says, "Oh, wow, we have this. Oh, that's weird. Okay, we haven't really prepared anything. What can we get you?"
What are you making? It smells delicious.
Yeah, we're making cinnamon pies. We got kind of packaged, so we're just gonna, prepare whatever. But we can make whatever we have. There's an entire pantry in the back. Then you can see another one of those creatures on the far end of the room, near identical, a little different shade of skin, but this seems to be like a whole kitchen that the cats are eating from. Aromas of cooking permeate from this kitchen. You see a large iron stove take up one wall, and the rest of the room is like filled with large tables and racks lined with hanging pots, pans, and cooking utensils. Everything is like sparkling clean and well kept. And these two tiny homunculi, who introduce themselves as cumin and coriander, float about, just working the kitchen. You've never met a homunculi that could speak, but these apparently can, and very, very well. As you kind of enter the room, and you are all well greeted, and in these like squeaky voices, they say, "How can we be of help to our honored guests? Cooking, cleaning, mending your clothes, perhaps?"
While eating some of the mixture that they're preparing for the pies, we're looking for the door to exit this place.
Let's see. Yeah, I guess guests do come in and get out. I just don't know how. Maybe Fistandia knows? What do you think, human? Yeah, maybe Fistandia knows.
Where is she?
I really don't know. She's been gone for like a long time. Both masters have. I don't remember last time I saw Master Freitor. He mentions another individual, Freitor. Sort of explaining that, cumin was created by Fistandia, coriander was created by Freitor, and the two, along with their homunculi, seem to have lived in this place. But the masters have went away for like a long, long time. Yeah. I don't know much about their magics. They did warn us not to touch any of the books, especially not the ones that have like those single letters on them. Maybe those have something to do with it.
Oh, never mind. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where are those so we don't touch it?
I mean, they're all they're all over the place. You keep fighting them whenever we're cleaning. Sometimes I swear, I think they can like travel on their own, shuffling themselves around here. We have to keep picking them up and putting that back in the library, but you can find them all over the place. I know there was one in the library. There was certainly one downstairs and more upstairs.
Well, you haven't seen your masters in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how you have energy still.
Yeah, if something ever happened to them, we'll go kaput.
Yes. And I assume that these two felines over here are the familiars of your masters.
Yeah, sure. Pets and such. Fistandia always had a thing for strays, so she would always bring them in. There's these two, another one upstairs somewhere. I can hear it scuffling about. We feed them, keep them well. Yeah, they're spoiled little things. Yeah, I don't know. They didn't really have much time for them. Sometimes they're stuck in their studies. I know Fistandia used to go up to the planetarium upstairs and just disappear for like a long time afterwards. Yeah.
Cool.
These are not the only ones either. I mean, there's a couple of like fairy dragons up in the arboretum. They're harmless but mischievous. We stay out of their way.
I will immediately look up. Do you perchance have any dealings with those things?
Dealings?
I'm talking to Ella.
Oh.
At the mention of fairy dragons.
I don't think. Ella, have you been following the conversation?
Somewhat.
Fine. So the homunculi did mention fairy dragons. You being a fairy, you've heard of these. They're multicolored dragons, born one color, and throughout their life they change colors like autumn leaves. Throughout all the spectrums of the rainbow, gaining a certain mischievous personality that grows and develops as they grow. They're very much attuned to the same kind of realms that a fairy would come from. And apparently there's a couple of them in the garden. and Martin's character just asked you if you had any dealings with them, which is really up to your character. What do you think you know about fairy dragons?
Used to have one as a pet, and they're very friendly.
They've been kept as pets and familiars by those who could tame them, though they are kind of tricky and mischievous. Yeah, known to play tricks on even their masters. If I don't hear your questions, it's only because you're too far away from the mic. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, you can
Maybe
come
they
and
might
see
be
for
able to
yourself.
help.
They're over in the garden. We're not coming though. We stay away from those things.
We may have to do that. Alright. Rex, anything through that door?
Crooks open easily.
I have never seen a fairy. Oh, sorry. I say Arix. Oh, look! More cinnamon and flour. So much fruit.
Yeah, help yourself. I mean, we can always get more. Somehow.
I'll grab some pumpkins and I come out of the room with a giant pumpkin.
I mean, we can bake that. We can actually make something out of it. I don't know how good raw pumpkin is. I've had raw pumpkin seeds and it was disgusting.
Helps you with scurvy.
Yes, pumpkin. the greatest citrus food. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds funny.
Yeah. I'll believe you. I've never been to sea. Oh.
Well,
So I would want to ask that there was a man here earlier, and he had a statue with him, and that it looked of like a fiendish creature. Would you happen to know anything more about that, or?
Yeah, we know
would there
all
be
about that.
Tell me what you know.
Fyodor, Stania's partner, he used to do a lot of like a different kind of magic. Down in the basement. I remember he used to summon all types of creatures, imps being one of them. Although the imp that he summoned hasn't been seen in some time. So.
And
yeah.
where was it that you last saw Fistandia and Freitor in the house?
So he said that Fistania, last time he saw her was in the. I had it right here. In the planetarium upstairs?
Planetarium. Okay.
Yeah, and the last time he saw Fyodor was downstairs in the basement.
Right. Alright. Planetarium. Alright. Okay, well, you continue being good little creatures.
Yeah, let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Like, literally anything. It's our one purpose. I'm Me6, look at me. It's my purpose.
Open an astral door so we can go out of here.
Okay, right on it. I guess some research is due in order. So we officially have your permission to look through all the arcane books here, and like, whatever we find to help you, we can use to get you out of here, yeah?
I ain't signing off on that, because I don't know what they're getting into.
Okay.
No, we'll...
We're
continue
under
to
strict
police
orders
around.
to see to any needs of our guests. So by proxy, your permission gives us permission to do anything.
thank you very much for that.
Okay. Not taking
I mean,
them up on her offer.
I feel like I'm opening Pandora's box when I'm going to say, like, yes,
Good.
please.
Good.
Literally do everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Well,
want that. I'm already getting a vibe.
You go upstairs and you just hear like a explosion from downstairs as one of them casts
Pretty
fireball
much.
by accident.
Yeah. It turns into a death house.
as soon as we leave the room, well, I suspect we probably need to find the rest of those books if we're not. They weren't supposed to touch them.
Well, I
Surely
do have
they
one.
Something. I imagine
Yeah.
there are many more.
Okay.
Probably there's a library we were just in before we followed the cat. There might be a book in there. There were lots
Yes.
of other books.
Also, I didn't want to interrupt Ella's attempts to talk to the cat. Are there any other questions that you wish to ask of this? charismatic little thing. As it finishes eating.
No. Oh no, I have no questions for you.
Okay, fair enough. If anything comes to mind, you can let me know. Yes, there's a room that you just came into that we ran out of. If you wish to investigate that, you can. Otherwise, what do you wish to?
Well, might as well try finding some more of these books. Maybe we can find the secrets to where, of this whole house. But in that last, where the library was that the only book in there? Just saving a little bit of time. That was the only one that had the lettering on it, because I tried to compare it to all the
So,
other
like,
books.
we're talking about this room over yonder. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
From what you could tell, you took like a 20 minutes to look around. That was the only one with a single letter on it.
Okay. Just making sure.
Sorry, Ella lost like access to the token. She cannot move it, I think.
Huh? Why?
Probably locked on a wall.
No,
Yeah.
it should be fine. I can move it.
That's weird. Let me see.
Maybe
Did she
just gotta reload.
restart? Yeah.
I think she has to restart because.
It might be something on your end, because I don't know.
Oh, I see what happened. Yeah, got it. She's in the wrong tab.
That would do that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I will make my way back over to the room we found the cat in originally.
Yes, so this study room, the entire far wall of this room is floor-to-ceiling bookshelf. Even more books are resting on several large scarlet armchairs and small wooden tables throughout. And there are several paintings on the walls. What do you do?
I will spend a little bit kind of searching through the room for, in particular, any book that has the letter on the edge of it. It has any books that match that same letter description that we've seen before.
You find one book with the letter I on its spine.
Well, found a second one.
Well, bring it along. We'll see if we can find any more. The little, I don't know. I would just refer to them as like goblinoids or whatever. Said that there's there's more to be upstairs.
Yes. Well, I suppose I probably will do that. Do a search of the room for anything else odd, because we now have
throughout
two
your search
missing-
throughout search through the books, you can tell that almost all of the books in the study were written by Standia herself, and most are like her memoirs. Kind of scouring, and did you open any of them and just kind of like look for that letter?
I would have looked for that letter, and if I'm seeing that these are memoirs, I would try and look for the most recent memoir.
Fair enough. You find it. Perusing it, you can tell that Fistandia claims to have been a powerful mage, as well as a priest of Mistra, the god of magic. She frequented the Candlekeep to further her studies, and in exchange for Fistandia's pious service and achievements in expanding the arts of magic, Mistra herself granted Fistandia a permanent extradimensional mansion for her to reside in when studying in Candlekeep. Fearful that a guest might become trapped in the mansion, Fistandia hid the command word to open the portal to Candlekeep on the spines of 7 books in her mansion.
Hey, sounds like we have 5 more of those books to find. That's the command word for us to escape.
Alright, well, 2 down, 5 to go. Well, let's all stay close together and be safe.
And if you were to take a quick look around this room, just for anything else peculiar, glancing at the paintings, you can see there are 3 paintings hanging on the walls. One is a landscape scene with like a large green dragon emerging from a grove of pine trees. Another one is a study of a Pegasus in flight. And a third is like a portrait of like a unicorn in like a wooded glade.
Beautiful.
One last thing. Roll me an investigation check. Because you're actually being... Okay.
Yep.
That is all you find.
Well, sounds like we have 5 more books to find. So we open the doors down this way. Hopefully find one before we head upstairs.
There's a door at the end of the hallway and one directly to your left. Which one are you talking about?
I have
Ayla.
in the way.
Yes.
Open that door.
Okay. Door.
Both doors get pushed at the same time.
We're breaching and clearing.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Isla, you walk into, let me just scroll down to it, some sort of a dining room. There's large windows form the entire one wall, through which you can see your fairy friend fluttering in a garden beyond, looking out on 3 planted beds filled with like vegetation and such. But within this room, you can see a crystal chandelier hangs above the table made of dark wood. 6 matching wooden chairs with scarred cushions surround the table, and a 7th chair just kind of sits alone in one of the far corners. Ella, as you're fluttering around this beautiful garden, you can see that this end of the building is an arboretum, keep for groves of trees and such, with open, arched windows. Flowering shrubs and small trees grow between paved paths that meet in semicircular patio kind of pattern. There's no sun, but 2 glowing globes hang above the plants, bathing them in this golden light. There are colorful blossoms everywhere, filling the air with their perfume. What do any of you guys do? You guys can see each other through the painted windows.
I'll walk under the table to see if I find something that fall from someone,
Sure.
or if is there anything hidden, and I will come up on the other end.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception.
See if there's gum under there.
Yum yum.
That's 22.
Okay. You note that on the table itself, the buffet contains like silverware and a service for 5 people, and the 6th service, the various cutlery and stuff, is strewn on the floor on this side of the table. Like a little bit of this strewn on the floor. The plate is a little bit crooked. And with a perception of 22, you might note something else. Let me just see something here. I'm reading, so just bear with me. Okay. Okay. You notice that one of the forks has sort of fallen, so it's leaning against this chair here, and it's a little bit stuck in that angle. All of it is a gleaming silver, probably worth a whole bunch of gold if you were to take it with you, but yeah.
Ella, come.
Yeah.
There's something here.
You can hear his muffled voice through the glass window. Since we are in Ella, what do you do while you're fluttering around the garden? Do you do anything? Anne?
I don't think she's doing anything at the moment.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything from you, Martin?
I would be kind of walking through the garden, looking keeping an eye out for these fairy dragons we're supposed to be careful of.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
Perception.
Cool. It rolled a 19. You rolled a 23. You see it near perfectly blended in with some colorful flowers. You thought it was a pair of petals, but then like butterfly wings, they kind of spread out. You can see one of them leaning against a branch of the nearby bushes. This creature is about cat-sized with butterfly wings, wears a sharp-toothed grin, and expresses its delight as it twitches its tail and kind of begins to move through plants, fading in and out a little bit, phasing in and out. But you spot where it's at.
In Draconic, I will say, hello. How are you? Do you happen to know where the master is?
Away.
Sandia.
Upstairs. Master doesn't play with us anymore. Has been days, weeks, and we are so bored. As it says the word bored, you can see a little puff of like pink fumes coming out of its snout.
Well, it's a terrible shame that you're bored.
Do you want to play a game? Another puff of smoke.
What sort of game? And at this point, I will sit down on the bench next to it.
Your friend over there doesn't know what we hear. Let's play a little trick on her. A little instant trick. Watch. You can see next to Ella, another one of those creatures is slowly descending down from the globule, and licking its little snout, it puffs a little breath of air that Ella just kind of flies into. Ella, can you roll me what's called a wisdom saving throw? You'll find saving throws on the upper left of your sheet under wisdom. Okay. You feel weird for a moment. Blinking, you for a moment saw home, family, back where you once came. And then you shake out of it and you think about it. What did you just see? Is she muted, Ivan?
She's being a little shy.
Okay. I'm just giving an opportunity, if you so wish to take it, to sort of describe something that only you would know since you've created your character. As this little puff of euphoric breath comes out of this little creature in a mischievous trick, you get a vision of home. If you want to share, you can share it with us, what that is like, or we can just kind of move on. Okay. But saving that with a wisdom save, it comes to pass. Nonetheless, earning a little sniveling giggle out of the creature right beside you there. Just a harmless little euphoric breath. We used to play this game all the time.
Well, have you ever flown out into the area outside?
Sure.
What happens up there?
Of course. Watch. It spreads out its wings and flutters around, and then comes back to land. Does another cycle around, fluttering throughout. Comes back.
Well,
We need our space. So we get it here.
I don't suppose you know of any books in this room or in this garden?
I don't think books grow on trees.
But knowledge is a fruit, is it not? Fruit of labor.
So, do books grow on trees?
Well then. Ella, I don't think there are any books here, and these little things seem to want nothing more than to play games. Don't suppose you have any fun games to play with them?
You see the creature fluttering in front of Ella, change shape. A little misty cloud surrounding it, sparkling a little bit, and spreads out bluish as it grows in size into a perfect copy of Ella. Turns around to face her, kind of hovering right in front of her. As this is all going on, what's going on this end of things in the dining room?
What were you saying earlier about there was a fork and something like was wedged or something, like with the chair, something was off kilter?
So you see, like perfectly set on the table, like 5 plates with dining utensils around them. But the 6th set is like a skewed plate, a skew on the table, and some utensils are on the floor, and the fork has fallen to the point where it's between the floor and the table leg, and has like stuck to it on an awkward angle, not following gravity.
If I was to like rearrange it back to like its original like placement,
Are you trying to pick up the fork?
yeah, like to take it out of like
it comes
the air
off the
and
ground, and then you see like the table leg stretches as a string, like gummy string, just stretches from it, attaching itself, and then you look up at the chair and you see like an eyeball just open up,
I do not like.
and 2 pseudopod tentacles come out from either side of the chair and go to embrace you.
No.
You go to let go of the fork, and you find that your hand is like stuck to some of that jelly that was on the fork.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 more eyes open on the chair as the mimic rolls initiative.
You bastard.
It's a mimic! Annie seems to be having problem with the mic.
Okay.
So, but we'll resolve it. But yeah, initiative. Go for it.
Okay, fair enough. If you need time to resolve it, I can wait. I can get a drink. We've been at this for an hour and some, so I don't mind refilling my water if you need a moment.
Sure, let's take a water break to see if I can
like
fix
literally 2 minutes. I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, I can go for about another 30-40 minutes, but I do have some other stuff I have to get onto.
Do you want to make this like a 2-parter then?
Yeah, we can do a 2-parter, yeah.
If you guys are down for that, we can do that. Also, if you have to go, we can.
No, I'm fine right now. No, I don't have to end now.
Okay.
We can keep going.
I'll be
I just have to.
right back.
I will be right back too. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix it. It's really fast. If not, we're gonna share mics.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Go.
Done. I'll be right back. I need to go to the restroom.
No problem.
Probably for lunch. I'm distracted.
Okay, I'm back.
Sure, we're just waiting for Ivan.
My little baby boy.
Seventh chair was not suspicious, huh?
Say it again, you broke up.
I said seventh chair was not suspicious, huh?
I knew something was wrong with it, but I thought I'd like reset the plate or something.
No, it's good intuition. I'm not, just funny.
Slightly suspicious, but I was in the other room.
Chair mimic. I wonder if there's a picture for chair mimics. Oh, my connection is going to shit.
Yeah, there are pictures for that. There are many pictures for chair mimics. Like, many pictures for chair mimics.
Many.
Many men.
Try to make that give a picture. Try that. There you go. Chair mimic.
My initiative didn't take, right?
Yeah, 22. Yeah, I
let me
did
roll
take
it
for
again.
some reason. No, you're good. It took 22.
No, it's not in the initiative order. I'm assuming it's because you didn't click your token when you rolled.
Yeah, I think that was it.
And now I think everyone but Ella is in the initiative.
Ella's in
No,
initiative.
she's got a 12.
12
Ah,
or 9.
Then other Ella needs to be in initiative, not in initiative.
Oh, the fake dragon.
She just clicked on the wrong token is all because she got confused too.
Yes.
Fair enough. That's funny how they roll the same initiative. Alright, then we have top of the round. Alex, you see this thing materialize back to life as
No.
it clutches onto Isla. What do you do?
Oh my god, stop doing that! I jump in top of him and try to slash it with the cutlass.
Rules hit. Respawning it with the token. There it is. Got it. A 19 hits for 5 piercing damage. As your blade slashes through it, it feels like its resistance, like cutting through jello that sticks to it. But you manage to get the blade out of there, and you can see whatever essence is slicked across the blade bubbles and hisses like acid. But the damage takes 5 piercing. As where you lacerated, the chair does not break like wood or anything, it just becomes this gelatinous material, and the creature just goes and opens more eyes, like several more eyes open throughout as it begins to slick out a pseudopod like tongue toward Isla. Fair enough. We have this fairy dragon over yonder, cackling at the chaos, taking a moment to sort of capitalize on that. It's going to puff one breath of euphoric breath at you, Martin. Go ahead and have your character, Linian, roll me that wisdom saving throw. You save against it. A game! That being said, it's Isla's turn.
Okay. Chair caught me off guard, but I'm just like trying to shrug it off. Like, such a disgusting creature. And I go to plunge my two-handed greatsword into it with extra force, taking a -5. Where is my greatsword? That's a
Natural 20.
natural. And 26.
Oh! Disgusting! Level 1! What is this?
Bro.
Okay.
I took the -5, so I get the 10.
It is bloodied.
Yeah, I just dive it, just both hands down, like how you like in the movies, like Crusader, like down into the chair, right into its seat cushion.
And as you swipe away, you tear away. The fork is now in your hand, sleek and slimy, but the pseudopod just kind of retreats back into the chair. Fair enough. That was big. So Ella over yonder, you see what's going on beyond the windows. What do you do?
I would like to throw the bolts against the dragon. Eldritch Blast.
Fair enough. There's one beside you, right beside your Elenian, and then there's one in front of you that looks that polymorphed itself to look exactly like you. Which one are you targeting?
The fake one. The fake me.
Fair enough. Go ahead and roll that Eldritch Blast. It dodges out of the way, your Eldritch Blast sailing past it, shattering the glass over yonder, making an entryway as it blasts through the glass. An 11 to hit does not hit its AC, unfortunately. It's at a disadvantage too because it's a ranged attack, but even if it wasn't. But that being said, you did make a entryway over yonder as the glass shatters. Right then. The fake Ella giggles back at you and does the same thing. With a blowing kiss, she blows this breath at you, this pink fume that sails towards you. As you breathe it in, roll me that wisdom saving throw against a euphoric breath attack from the fairy dragon. As it continues to mischievously play its game, and realizing this severity of the situation. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. A 12 beats the C11 that you require, so you beat it. Shake off the sensation. Once again, you get a glimpse of confusing terrain, your homeland, memories that are not here, not this place. You shake them off. Elenian, it is your turn.
I will go ahead and call on the starlight to burn the mimic. Sacred flame of mimic.
Dexterity saving throw? Yeah. 12. Fails.
2 points of radiant damage.
As a plum of radiant fire materializes around it, burning its form, it sparks off like starlight off its form. It takes that 2 radiant damage in full. That being said, it is top of the initiative. Did my mimic not roll initiative, or what's going on here? Hold on. Oh yeah, because I did its token.
It's different.
It goes after me.
Okay, it goes after.
It's before me.
Well, hold on. Let me scroll up.
It had
Should have not deleted that. Mimic rolled a 18 on initiative.
Okay. Oh, I told you so.
Do you want to do the turn of it?
I'm
now?
doing a retrospective turn. Against you.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
No, it's already too late. But yeah, we have advantage on this thing. Don't forget.
Yeah. Pack tactics.
No, you have that anyway. Yeah, you're good.
That being said, a 7 would have not hit you anyways. So go ahead with your turn, Eric's.
Okay. Again, as he's trying to bite us, I'll go against one of the leg of the chairs.
Go for it.
22
hits.
And seeing that there is a lighting coming through the window, I'll use my bonus action, and I'm gonna try to push the Ela that is giving me her back into my direction with telekinetic show. It's like the wind is blowing really strong against her.
Fair enough. That's free movement for Ella. That being said, I believe end of your turn, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The Fairy Dragon is not gonna bother chasing, giggling mirthfully at the game. It's gonna go ahead and simply vanish into the bush. On the Mimic's turn, it's going to turn to you, our little kobold friend here. Being small, it's going to attack Eric's with a pseudopod, slapping you for 12 to hit.
It's a miss.
Okay, you dodged the worst of it. Fair enough. Isla.
Mama's coming in with another attack. With another great sword. 16 minus 5, 11.
11 to hit. Hits it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. It is sluggish, it is weak, you notice, both from your wounds and from something prior. This thing has not fed in quite some time.
21.
21. As you lacerate it, you can see its guts spilling, whatever mimic guts look like. And you can see like little cat bones and rats and whatever it would manage to scrumble up and eat. The remnants of therein, but it is dead.
Oh, those poor cats. I just flicked the rest off of the goo or whatever off my blade, sheath it. Like, such a foul creature. Has to rely on tricks too.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. Whew. Alright. Could have been worse.
Well, be careful not to step in its entrails.
You guys okay in there?
Oh, we're fine. Just kind of disgusted.
That's good.
Yeah, there was nothing, No,
Okay.
that's it for me. Just looking out to the courtyard and, to the both of you out there, just making sure, asking if you guys are okay and if there's anything that you might need.
Oh, we're fine. The little dragons are just a little bit, mischievous. I think it's probably best if we leave them alone in their garden.
All the while, Ella is still facing her like duplicate as it's skilling and fluttering around her and stuff.
Oh my god, I swear it was only one before.
That's one of the dragons. They're weird like that. They seem to enjoy causing problems.
Well,
One of the elves approaches Eric's and kind of lands before him and looks him deep in the eyes, and then you can slowly see that Ella develop a little snout and scales.
The war is not ready for so much terror.
Jesus.
So much terror.
Anarchy!
It echoes back.
I'm just imagining that meme of like the little kid yelling anarchy. That's Eric's right there.
Let you pick it.
I will give a quick whistle to the dragon and say, "You want to play a game? Fetch!" And I'll throw the dart at the bench here.
Okay, you see something leap out of the bush and materialize into vision. It's gonna go and attempt to catch it, yeah.
I'll turn to rest.
It fails.
Turn to,
Not fast
turn to
enough.
left. Distracted. Let's go. And make my way out of the.
Stumbles and falls over the cliff.
I'll walk out and just say, look out, terrific one.
It waves you goodbye, its eyes like turning these rainbow shades and hues. And turns invisible. To continue its play.
Well, lead the way up the stairs. Looks like that's it down here. Still need some books.
Yeah, and as I get here, I'll toss one more dart at the bench over there.
The bench over here?
Yeah.
It's not a mimic.
It's not a mimic.
Now everyone's gonna get paranoid, touching everything
Yeah.
with its 10-foot pole.
Uh-huh.
Stab it.
Up the stairs then. Stacking goes up.
Yeah,
It's just so much more convenient that way.
that goes.
Book. Yep. Right. You ascend up a floor, up the stairs. The landing at the top of the stairs is occupied by a suit of armor holding a long sword, point down. It sits upon a wooden stand in front of a large window. The armor is decorative, though the helmet and the sword are like genuine items of good quality. Both this and the door beyond are open, and or should be open. Yes, they are open. And you can see another cat at the end of the hallway, just kind of sort of sitting on one of the couches there. As you approach it, Ella goes to flutter right next to it. It rises, trying to extend itself toward her, meowing plaintively all the while.
Ella, can you ask him if he has seen any book? Please do.
If she does, the cat replies back in speech. Yeah, I've seen it. It's right over there. It's one of those. It's one of those fancy books that doesn't let me touch it. No, it doesn't. It keeps flying away every time I try, but it's right here. And it gets off. The flat black cat, like napping at the scarlet chair, gets off and maneuvers over to a chest of drawers on the southern end of the room and tries to bat the book out of reach that flutters open and shut real quick as it tries to get away from it. You can see the letter E on the spine.
We have R, I, and E.
Otherwise, this open and airy bedroom has a canopied bed with this rich scarlet curtains occupying one corner. A jug of a wash basin stands on top of that chest of drawer I mentioned before. On one wall is covered with this large painting of a gold dragon perched heroically on a mountaintop.
We have that book then. Suppose we should go to this door and I will open the door. I'm assuming that's a door, not a window.
Yep. You open the door, and there is a balcony that is right above the laboratorium. The door it leads to a wrought iron balcony lined with Slate flagstones, the greenery and colorful flowers of the arboretum are visible below. The oppressive miasma seems to press in even closer above the mansion here than on the ground level.
Well, okay. I'll spend a quick moment looking down to see if I see either of the two dragons below, or if they have successfully hidden away.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception.
They're hiding pretty well. They're probably somewhere in the bushes. Couldn't have gone far. No duplicates of yourselves are following you in your wake, so they must be down there. You can still see the two globulous bursts of sunlight coming from two glass orbs attached to the trees. But even in their illumination, it's very hard to spot them from up here.
Well, what do you say we pass the door on the way on this hallway? What do you say we go through that one? And if there's something we want to poke around at from here.
I'll check the drawer.
Sure. You find two sets of robes. One of them is made of like this golden fleece-like material with a pattern upon it on the inside. The inside is lined with silk, and the pattern is like golden scales, like that of a snake or some form of a lizard. There's another robe of equal quality. The inside silk is lined with these green aquamarine scales.
I'll leave it there.
Okay.
There is only clothing here. Not much. Nothing useful.
Yes. Well then.
The lower drawers, if you like look for them, also hold more utilitarian tunics and dresses. It's mostly a dressing drawer.
No hidden compartments, nothing like
Roll me
tab
investigation.
sounds hollow. Okay. Let's see. 4.
You're pretty certain there are none.
Yeah.
Well,
Slaps the top.
And this
a
is
mighty
where
fine
Fistandia
drawer.
kept her sex toys. Like,
Yeah.
your hand reaches in and you just feel something.
No.
Like, what are you looking for, man?
well, shall
These
we open the
these
door?
knickers have the letter
Oh,
T on them.
Shall we open the door here?
I forgot there was one there, yeah.
Sure. The door opens, not locked as it is, to some sort of a trophy room. Each corner of this pleasant parlor has a scarlet armchair and a reading table piled high with books. There's a cheery fire that burns in the fireplace. A pair of swords sit in a rack above the fireplace, and the heads of various animals are mounted on the walls.
Well, they have books. Want to help me look for the book with the letter? And I will start on this side of the room, looking at the stack of books, see if there's the letter.
Who's helping him?
The letter.
I'll help him to look.
So the both of you
I'll
can
be
make me
looking
like a group check. Both of you rolling a sort of investigation check. I'll take the higher of the two as you look around. The various books piled here are all poetry or heroic fiction meant for entertainment. You also get a good glimpse of the trophy heads above. You see like a stag, a wolf, a mixture of like a hawk with antlers, a hound with these embery glowing eyes, and as well as a young black dragon wormling's head. All purely decorative. You keep looking around for the books, and you find one with the letter Y englyphed upon its spine.
Okay. I will pick that up and go to Isla. He's been holding
Whatever
them.
books we need.
There you go. Have a run.
Oh, I'm sorry. What are you handing to me? I had my girlfriend walk in.
A book with the letter I or with the letter Y on it. Find this room.
Let's take a look.
4 of 7.
Yeah, I'll have all the books.
3 more for us to find.
We have to find.
Ella, did you find anything over that on that side?
The investigation thing? No.
As you look around, you recognize some of the creatures. One of them is like a hellhound. Another one is like a Periton, a mixture of like a hawk and a deer-like creature. But all of those are purely decorative. The 2 swords seem genuine above the hearth, kind of crisscrossed. But you found what you were looking for.
Yes. Do we have reason to stay here more, or should we just move on to the next location? Try and find the remaining books.
Let's see the other rooms. But careful with the chairs.
Hitty.
A cat passes by the doorway, pitter-pattering. Round the corner, you can see it sort of peek around the corner quickly and proceed down the stairs. Probably toward the kitchen to get some food. And you see it open a portal and get out of here.
Yeah, that'd be some shit.
See if there was a door on the entry floor we came up on. Then we have to figure out how we get into the basement.
In the entryway where you stand, you notice something you haven't known before since you sort of followed Ella westward. Taking a quick moment, you can tell that above the armor is like a trap door. Seems to open upwards. As well as a door right beside where Ella is standing.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, let's go into that door there, and
we
just
could.
tell Ella to be careful.
We could keep exploring, although I'm looking at the clock here. Do you have to go, Nick?
Yeah, about 10 more minutes.
Okay. Fair enough. Opening the door beside Ella. I said opening the door beside Ella. You see yet another room. This one. Most of this room is taken up by long wooden tables that are covered with glass vessels and books. Cabinets with glass doors lined the walls, and they contain all manner of specimens. Just below the ceiling, in the middle of the room, colorful globes circle each other in an intricate dance. The far wall is almost completely covered by a map of the night sky, with a golden sunburst in the center above a closed door.
Well, whatever they're looking for here, whatever they were studying, has to be something very deep. But I'm trying to have a hard time exactly what they were trying to find or trying to open to. This realm's existing. Obviously, they made a home here and didn't want to leave and come back to the Empire. Well, nonetheless, just be careful with their concoctions here on the table. Never know what they're brewing.
Over the star map. Start looking at that. I'm trying to map that to my knowledge of.
The map on the wall contains a bunch of stars. Most stars being represented rather by mere dots or small circles. But as you're noting down, you notice something curious. 5 of them are more prominent than the others, rendered as blazing silver suns.
Well, I will point that out, and with my sage astronomer background, do those 5 stars mean anything in particular?
I've been linking it to Shadow. I've never seen Sage Astronomer.
So sage has speciality in the sage. I don't think it's actually anything directly with that. Alright, so the sage thing, you have the speciality to determine the nature of your scholarly training.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's just a sub branch of Sage.
Yeah.
Okay. Would those mean anything to you? Yes. These are all stars, which individually are visible in the night sky at one point of the year or another, but here they are represented all visible at the same time. While we can just say that you know their names, I don't have anything on hand. I'll have something for next section. But you know that these stars are all visible at different times of the year, but here they are represented as they are visible at those times. It is as if the entire night sky, so the entire cosmic year, is represented in one frame.
That's strange. These 5 should not be visible at the same time. Anyone who studies stars would know that. Why would they make this mistake? This is wrong.
Throughout the room, glancing, you'd see cabinets crowded with skulls, bones, and mounted animals, rocks, minerals, dried plants, and jars with creatures floating in liquid. There's measuring devices, glassware, and other scientific apparatuses that sit on a table between books on natural sciences, astronomy, astrology, physiology, and the natural philosophy. There are complex charts here, and mathematical formulas drawn on the mobile blackboard by where Asterix is sitting. And throughout your years navigating the seas, you can also recognize some of these constellations throughout that you've used to navigate the open waters.
Going off everything you just said, is like, what exactly are they trying to do here? Like, within this household, like, are they trying to open something up? Like, does anything on the tables, like concoctions, books open to certain pages, like point to something specific, or anything with that, the suns and everything?
Scouring some of the pages, you can tell that whoever was occupying this house tried to reach to planes beyond the material. The night sky, future stars you've never seen before, not visible even from the material plane, extra dots in the wrong places, at the wrong times, asynchronous, just all displayed at once, overlaying over each other in layers. Some of them in slightly different colors, some of them more prominent than the others, except those 5 that seem to be central in some way. And all the books and such seem to be pointing towards some research toward traveling these various planes, collecting these foreign specimens, creatures, plants, rocks, and fossils, not all from the material.
I'll take a minute and look at the paper that I have to kind of try and copy down the star chart.
Fair enough. You see igneous rocks that seem to be made from obsidian, but have a natural glow within them. You see crystals that are cold to the touch and seem to be frost and rhyming the desk upon which they lay, generating their own sort of exothermic reaction. Endothermic? The creatures in the jars you've never seen before. They're alien, multi-headed, multi-limbed, with mesmerizing hypnotic patterns upon their slimy skin. This is like a planewalker's house.
So they just want to get nothing specific, just literally anything that they can get their hands on.
Travel, exactly.
Okay. Well, they're not here. Maybe something in their search, trying to find all these things out there in the world and beyond. Maybe something else found them.
Ella, do you see anything you recognize from your home?
A better question is, Ella, what are you doing as you're fluttering around? What would your character do in a room such as this?
I'm looking to see if there's any spells within the books.
Okay. You peruse the various books: astronomy, astrology, physiology, natural philosophy. You do find a spell, or the details of it, a sort of a teleportation spell that uses a large, about foot wide diameter glass orb as a focus, and once you touch it, say the right incantations, and present forth an object from that plane, you can, in a way, open a way gate to that plane. Looking around the room, this sphere would be pretty obvious. You can tell that it's not in this room. Around the sphere must be assembled the focus, the people traveling, and another contraption, like a brass tube with lenses on both sides that points directly toward the place you wish to travel to, if it is reachable from where you're standing, somewhere visible. A spell to traverse large distances in a matter of a second.
Do you think they will keep something like that in hidden room? And I'll start walking around the room trying to find a secret door.
Okay. There is another door by where Ella is standing that's not so secret and obvious, and kind of padding the walls. It's all solid stone, opening some of the drawers, pulling on some stuff, turning some of the lanterns around. You're pretty confident there's no secret door here. But those research notes did note that those brass tube devices and such are all located within a planetarium in his house, beyond the door that Ella is standing on. Judging by the structure of this room, it is quite possible it's beyond that door. Judging by the research notes and how it notes it and such.
There is something weird. Ella can see all the map. I'll open the door.
Where is Ella's token right now?
It's another door.
It's vision of everything.
Everything?
Well,
Everything.
at the moment, like, let's say, like, the next room.
2 rooms.
Like gray or like black, like colored?
Color, like green, blue, purple.
Okay, that's very weird.
Hack all 20.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Let me
ahead.
reload it.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Explorer mode and see if that fixes it. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Don't worry.
Money is always funky sometimes.
Nah.
And now it's fixed. Right? She can see only the room now again.
Okay.
She's got map hacks.
Exactly.
Anyway, judging by what I described in the room, do you wish to do anything else around this room?
Open the door.
Fair enough. You Asterix also notice this weird sensation as you approach the door, but as you push it, it increases. The entire room that you're in seems to like zoom out in perspective, and you open the door to a much more different space. Grass. Outside, outdoors. Past the threshold of the room, as you walk out, you can feel a light breeze. The door opens into a dark, open space, offering a view of the starry firmament of the night sky. Bye, Ella. I guess
She's gone.
she's gone. She's gone in the distance of the night sky, You see 5 tubular copper tubes with lenses on either end, arranged throughout here, mounted on bronze plates pointed toward the constellation above. In the middle of the space, a 1-foot diameter sphere of clear crystal sits on a circular brass stand. And I can't stress this enough. You walk in here, you're outdoors into an impossibly open space. Like, that I can't do it on the map, but like it stretches on all directions. Behind you is just like a square cut into space of the door frame, and behind it, the grassy hill rolls back more, and the night sky is everywhere.
Hold on.
We found the planetarium. Describing the book.
Yes, we did. Well, if I was reading that star chart correctly, there are 5 stars that shouldn't be visible at the same time that they seem to have great care of. They marked out specially. There are 5 telescopes. I think I want us to align them to try and find those stars with each telescope in turn.
Sure. Walking around, springing turf compresses underfoot. All throughout. It's the moonless night, starry night sky visible in all direction. Sorry, I was just reading a paragraph. What is it you want to do?
Well, there were 5 stars in the star chart that were special, and there are 5 telescopes. And I'll start kind of explaining where those stars are and should be relative to where we are trying to orient myself and have.
Yeah, looking down at your sketch, you find like where north is at, stellar north, and the stars align. Too many stars in the sky, overlapping, all exist in the same frame, as if somebody took the entire global constellation and just put it so it's all visible from one floor.
Yeah, well, there are the telescopes that we have. There are 5 clearly indicated special stars. Let's try and spot them, and I will start using a telescope to try and spot.
Yeah, you find that it's very easy to change the orientation of these well-balanced instruments. While the telescopes cannot be moved in any other way than swiveling upon their bases, they're sturdily mounted to their pedestals. Maneuvering around, searching, you find one of the stars, blazing bright, and you can clearly see it in the night sky.
That's one down. You guys want to help me get the other 4?
Yes, I'll start moving one and trying to find another star.
With his guidance, you go ahead and swivel the telescope, pointing in the night sky, one by one, at all 5 brightest stars shown on the map that he sketched. When all 5 telescopes are aligned, the light of the stars focuses through the telescopes, through them, and onto the crystal ball, and refracts to illuminate the other side, a secret door on one of these apparent walls past the illusion in this room.
Oh, there you go. There's your secret door.
Miss the light of them aligning this rectangular shape in space.
What I was expecting. But, okay. I was expecting them to adjust the time to fix the fact that they're the wrong stars out. But, do we want to go? Do you know how to open that? You see the rectangular thing? Is there a handle of something to push or to pull?
Semi-translucent form of knob that seems to be illuminated. As if moonlight or starlight has fallen upon an object that is otherwise crystalline and see-through. But the door opens if you're to turn the knob and push in to another room. As you've made this discovery, I'm gonna say that we're gonna call it a night here. We're gonna call it a session. We can continue from on here. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tom.
Yeah, no problem.
And guys.
So I'll continue from where we are next session if we want to have another one. Before I step away, I'm gonna go in like 7 more minutes. But before I do, does anybody have any questions? Or anything they want to say before I go?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay. I'll be available throughout the week to answer questions, and you guys just come up with a date that works, especially for Annie, and I'll be probably available.
Thanks.
But until then, yeah, if there's anything I could have added to the game to have made it more fun, something I can add for next session, do let me know. I know we've all been like new at some point, so I'm just here to make the game fun though. So do let me know if you felt like anything was missing. But until then, have a good night.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, you have a good one, man. Take care. Nice meeting you.
Bye.